This girl has rabbit ears and calls herself Kaguyahime. She declares that anyone who touches her ears will be cursed by the moon. Occasionally, she may quote the famous line, "On behalf of the moon, I shall exterminate you," and makes you wonder whether she is really a goddess or not. While her appearance looks like a cute girl, she enjoys pranking others and lying. After her arrival at the Mahjong Soul Shrine, she started to battle for the ownership of the shrine, and the rivalry between her and Ichihime got really intense.
Welcome to Soulmates, where we talk about all your favorite little guys in all your favorite little games. I'm Ivy Fox. You can find me at Ivy Fox Art on Co-Host, where I promise I will post eventually. And you can find the horror fiction podcast I make, The Mad Bird, on your podcast app of choice. And joining me as always is Ash.
Hi, I'm Ash. You can find me at Asherlark on all respectable platforms, but mostly Ko-Fi, as I have rejected all forms of social media and now live in the dirt, where I belong.
Our theme is by Sueños Electronicos, who you can find at sueñoselectronicos.bandcamp.com, and our cover art is by Rygarden, who you can find on Instagram at Rygarden. This season, We're talking about the characters from Mahjong Soul by YoStar and Cat Food Studios, a blend of cute, appealing anime girls with classical Japanese mahjong. In their words, not mine. Ash.
Yes.
Hello.
Hello!
Welcome to doing a podcast together, I guess.
Yay!
Yay!
We fulfilled the sacred bond of trust between the two of us, and now we're doing a podcast.
Bond up.
Bond up!
Bond up.
By the end of this season, you'll have unlocked my Bond outfit.
What does it look like?
You'll have to find out.
Oh shit! I have to give you enough. Wait. Which purple gift do you bond up with?
This is where I have to confess that I don't engage with this part of Mahjong Soul that much, so I really only know about the few.
It's big teddy bears. It's big cookies. It's fancy magazines. Do I know all of these?
One of them's video games.
One of them is a big video. One of them's a PS4.
Okay.
Is that it?
Is that it?
Do you need 5? There's another one, but I don't fucking remember what it was.
Well, I mean, you could always find out by going to mahjongsoul.club.
Yeah.
There's one of those pages I'm sure has it.
Yeah. Anyway, hey.
Big
Ash.
gems.
Big gems. That's fair. I think I bond up with... Let me just quickly peruse my options. Oh, there's also wine glasses and paintings.
I see.
Oh, and dresses. Oh, there's more of these than I thought. I think I bond up with honestly just big cookies. If you just make me some cookies, I'll be like, I'll change into my bond up outfit. What is that? Who would keep listening? Maybe you'll find out.
Yeah, we'll have to find out later in the podcast.
Ash, what are we doing?
Today we're talking about my character from Mahjong Soul, the character that I play, because I insisted upon it as our first episode, and you agreed. And that's Kaguyahime.
Hang on. Before we get to that, what are we doing in general? What
are we doing in general? Here? Well, this is a podcast.
How did we
get
here?
First of all, this is a podcast. Second of all, what we're doing is we're talking about character design in the video game Mahjong Soul, and other things eventually. Allegedly.
I just want to give a little bit of backstory. This happened while we were live casting a game of a Splatoon themed Mahjong tournament. And I don't remember what happened, but suddenly we were planning on doing a podcast in the middle of the game.
Yeah, well, this is the first time that you and I ever spoke.
Right, this was the first time we had ever spoke. Yeah.
Yeah, well, you had heard me cast a previous game, and you were like, I'd like to cast a game with you, and I was like, okay. And then I believe you first brought up that we should do a podcast together before the stream started, because we had like 20 minutes where we were just like, talking.
We were just talking we were just talking about random anime and character design.
Yeah.
And like I've done these kind of podcasts with other people and I just know. Like I just know.
Yeah.
The last time sorry, go.
Is sort of a like me and my wife saw you from across the club and we really like your vibe kind of thing. Is that an appropriate way of describing your willingness to do a podcast with someone you had spoken to once up to that point?
Uh-huh.
Great.
Yeah, well, the last podcast I started with someone, I started also very suddenly while they were watching me play Dark Souls while I was very drunk.
Okay.
And this just happens to me. I find people and I enter into conversations with them and they're the best conversation I've ever had. And I'm like, I want to record these conversations and put them on the internet.
Okay.
And I think part of my impetus for suggesting this specific podcast is that, let me take a sip of water.
Okay.
This podcast, by the way, is sponsored by water with a little bit of lemon in it. Just put a little bit of lemon in there. Right. This was influenced by the fact that we both play a lot of Mahjong.
Yeah.
It's, an important part of our lives for various reasons and in various ways. And we use the Mahjong client Mahjong Soul for a bunch of reasons. Mostly
that it's the premier client for Mahjong, for competitive Mahjong.
Yeah, it's the premier. It's the premier English language client. It's easy to use, and also it has anime women. Some people resent the anime
cute
women.
and appealing anime girls.
It does cute and appealing anime girls. Exactly. But I find them fascinating. I find it a fascinating part of the game. I talk about them all the time.
Yes.
I think about them too much. And they're very not for me. They're very not built for me. I think is an important thing to start this podcast with. They didn't make this
for you.
No. It's just an interesting experience of like I am a lesbian. I'm like a butch lesbian. And it's this game that is presenting all of these allegedly attractive women, and me being like, this is so clearly not for me, and that's interesting. I find straight people fascinating.
Yeah.
What are they doing? What are they up to? So that's kind of what I want to figure out here. This is my broad goal. What are they up to?
So this is a scientific study for you. By the end of this podcast, we will know what straight people are up to.
Yeah, we'll know what straight people are up to. We'll know what they're doing.
I just really resisted going on a tangent very extremely well, and I want you to be proud of me.
I am proud of you. I'm also really curious, but
I'll tell you later.
Okay. Anyway, so that's roughly the backstory. Why are we here? Why are we doing this? I don't know. Seems fun.
It is fun. I'm here because I enjoy the conceit of discussing art that is considered by a wide population of people to just sort of be like garbage art.
Right, tasteless.
tasteless garbage.
Tasteless
And I'm
garbage.
interested in analyzing and considering it from the most, like, in-depth, serious angle that it is possible to do on a casual podcast.
I'm just gonna casually turn our levels down a little bit. Okay, that's 2 down. No, that's up. I'll probably edit this out. Probably.
Or you couldn't. It'd be,
Yeah.
you could do whatever you want.
I can do whatever. Who's gonna stop me?
Who is gonna stop you?
Yeah, I'm interested in art.
Me too.
And culture. And I don't want to, like, be the kind of person who just, like, limits myself to only thinking about what I think of as good art.
Exactly.
Because that has, like, an isolating effect of, like, splitting me off from everything and everyone. Because in reality, most people like a lot of garbage art. Also, I like a lot of garbage art.
I like a lot of garbage art.
And I just, like, don't... You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
I do know.
Yeah.
Well, if I can have a moment of philosophical at the beginning of this podcast, if I can get a little philosophical, the main purpose of consuming art to me is to enable you to enjoy more things. You consume high art. You consume high art not so that you can understand what's good and what's bad, but so that you will understand how to enjoy more types of art. And I think the same thing can be true for art that is tasteless garbage.
I also want to say that I don't think all of the art in this game is tasteless garbage. Sometimes
Absolutely
I look
not.
at the art in this game
nice.
and I'm like, hang on, this actually whips. And it kind of whips in a kind of unexpected way that if I was really cutting myself off from the potential of this being good, I wouldn't... Like, if I came into this with the preconceived notion that, like, no art of a naked bunny lady could ever be good, then I would derive a lot less enjoyment from it. But I want to be curious about the garbage, because you never know. And I'm also interested, again, like, us, like, both of us are queer. I'm also interested, again, like, from this perspective of, like, this art is pandering to people who are attracted to women who are not me. I'm interested...
Other people who are attracted to women. Other
people, you know. I
do know.
And I also, like, to be clear, I don't want to be, like, mean to straight men. Well, that's not true. Let me find a different phrase. I don't necessarily want to, like, mock straight men for being attracted to women, in a sense.
Sure.
I'm not here to, like, be like, anyone who likes this art or is, into it is a garbage human who's made of garbage.
Yeah.
That's also uninteresting to me. But I am, to some extent, if I can be, like, as obnoxious as possible, like, the most obnoxious that I could possibly be. I'm interested in queering Mahjong Soul a little bit.
Yes.
I'm interested
be.
in looking at Kaguyahime and being like, what of, like, queer values can we find here and, like, bring out of this in our interpretation? And also, like, what can we, like, learn about the dominant culture in a way that, like, helps shape, like, the way we make our own art and think of things in a better direction. I don't know what I'm saying.
No, you've got it.
I want to look at Kaguyahime and be like, yay.
Sorry, I got stuck on the first part of that sentence.
I want to look at Kaguyahime. Yeah, maybe we should shut up and we should, like, talk about the character that we're supposed to be talking about.
No, this is good.
Yeah, no, this is the podcast. This was my basic idea, was the podcast, is that most of the time we would talk about dumb shit. But maybe we should look at Kaguyahime. Oh yeah,
Okay.
right. By the way, if you want to join us, you can go to mahjongsoul.club/content/Kaguyahime, Kaguyahime.
Good job spelling.
Thank you. Babies have no problem with this.
Babies have no problems with this.
I was so babies have no problem with this. For the people who are not directly our friends, is a joke that we make about counting things in Mahjong, and like learning how to count to 9 in Chinese. And I was at yesterday. I was at my friend's house. My friend has 2 lovely children of 2 and 4. I love them. And Lulu, or Louise, her older, was showing me math and was like, listen, 2 plus 2, that's 4. And 4 plus 4, that shit's 8. And I was like, okay, what's 6 plus 8 plus 2? And he was like, it's 8. And I was like, babies have no problem with this.
Babies have no problems with this.
Babies have no problems with this. We should talk about Kaguyahime.
Awesome.
Also, all the links that we say will be in the description, so you can click those, or you can just listen. You don't have to look at things. For the people who
are going to absorb every detail of this piece of visual media. From our audio description of it.
Yeah.
You'll get it.
Speaking of which, we should do just like a general overall description of woman. Do you want do you want to take this first one?
So I want to describe Kaguyahime?
Wait, hang on. Let me... You, me, you. Okay, how about you... Okay, how about you take the... I just want to do the description of Dripping Glamour Kaguyahime is the thing.
Can.
Okay, we'll just figure it out. We don't have to alternate. We'll just figure it out as we go. But do you want to start with default look Kaguyahime?
I will start with default look Kaguyahime. This is an anime girl. In the same sense that what you're listening to now is a podcast.
Is it a cute and appealing anime girl?
This is a cute and appealing anime girl.
Okay. Yes, she's cute, yes appealing. We should check this every
cute,
time.
yes appealing.
Okay.
She has white rabbit ears. Giant white rabbit ears, long, straight, like blackish, brownish hair, and red eyes. And her main features are, first of all, the rabbit ears. Second of all, the headpiece, which has a giant one peen, like the Mahjong tile, at the center of it.
It kind of looks like a Chinese magic mirror to me.
Okay, I see that.
Yeah, just like a big shiny circle that looks like a one pin.
Yeah. She's got a little sleeveless white top with like red trim and some gold ornamentation, but over that she has a black off the shoulders but also extremely short, and also the sleeves are extremely wide, black and red thing going on. Every time I try to explain an outfit, I just need you to know that none of them are normal.
So this is tagged as a kimono. In the tags, This is tagged as a kimono, but it's basically like, what if a kimono, except it was way too big and it was falling off your shoulders, and then the dress part of it just like stopped at the top of your thighs as sort of like a cheerleader mini skirt.
Yes. And then she's got like patterns on it that extend down from, I think those are still part of the sleeve. The sleeves are extremely, like, they hang down to the floor. And they've got little, like, fans on them, but the fans have Mahjong tile patterns. Her whole thing is sort of black and red and white with a little bit of gold. And then she's got, like, one little, I don't even know what that is around her thigh. It's just a little, like...
This game loves
it's a garter, but there's no stocking
on people's. Yeah, it like this game loves that. It's basically, it's like a little. It's imagine like a bracelet that is like a thing of a thin thing of red rope, and then sort of like an old school Chinese coin with a square hole cut out of it, linking the parts of it together. This is a bracelet that I thing that I recognize as a bracelet, except it's on her thigh, which we'll get into details in a bit, but you can finish your description.
She's got no kind of leg coverings, and then she's sort of like, her pose is kind of absent-minded, and she's got one leg sticking out, such that her foot is daintily pointed, and one of her sandals is almost about to come off. Also, she's holding a little black fan, and she's got like a red tassel around her wrist. That's basically Kaguyahime.
Yeah. Yeah.
What more is there to say?
What more is there to say? Oh, I'm really learning as we go. Because I'm like, maybe we should just discuss her the whole way down, piece by piece, so that we don't like do a summary and then discuss individual parts, or maybe the summary and then individual parts discussing is better. But I feel like if we're gonna sort of like discuss it piece by piece anyway, maybe we should just discuss it piece by piece, you know?
Okay.
I don't know, you know, we're working on it. This is a work in progress. What are your general impressions of Kaguyahime? How do you feel about this outfit? How does that outfit make you feel?
Kaguyahime... Okay. First of all, I find her design cute and appealing.
Just like it says on the box.
This sounds like a joke. I do like her energy. She's, like... Her character is well displayed in what she's got going on here, which is, like... She's got... If we assume that what is tagged as a kimono in this art is a kimono... A big assumption to make.
I cannot stress that this does not look that much like a kimono. It also it has teeth. It also kind of has teeth. It looks like it's about to eat her.
I wish that were...
It reminds me of
Randall Valentine in Guilty Gear Strive, and she has a big cloak with a mantle, and it's got teeth on the bottom, and that's the whole bit. And it's the greatest thing ever.
Oh, yeah. I've seen that. It's reminding me of that. It's also reminding me of, I don't remember. The outfit from Kill la Kill.
I haven't seen that.
It's good. Anyway, she's wearing a living school, school sailor uniform. And it, has these sort of similar red spike motifs that turn into literal spikes when she turns into when she does the Kill la Kill thing. Yeah.
I'm familiar with the general conceit of Kill la Kill.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The Kill la Kill is about not losing your way in your mind.
But it is about losing your clothes.
You have no idea how right you are.
I have every idea how right I am.
In the Kill la Kill is about how Kill la Kill is the only good thesis on fascism that Studio Trigger, a studio that tries to make theses on fascism all the time. Kill la Kill is the only one that is good. Like, have you seen BNA, Brand New Animal?
I have not. I'm aware of it.
Okay, that one's a really bad thesis on fascism. Kill la Kill almost accidentally is an incredible thesis on fascism. Well,
I will say I did not know Kill la Kill was by Trigger.
It is by Trigger. It's the most Trigger-ass Trigger anime of all time.
This is great.
And in Kill la Kill, wearing clothing is fascism.
You have to take it off, and then
becoming naked is to become free and communal and also accept yourself as a lesbian. Sort of a what?
Sort of a Diogenes situation.
I don't know what that means.
Diogenes is a Greek philosopher whose main deal was that he rejected all social conventions, and in order to prove that all social conventions were completely fake, he took a shit in the streets and things like that.
Anyway, moving on.
I think Diogenes would agree that taking off your clothes is freedom.
Diogenes would fucking love Kill la Kill. Would Diogenes
would love Kill la Kill.
Kaguyahime?
Yes.
Would Diogenes find her cute and appealing?
I don't know. I have to get back to my original point before we start talking about Kill la Kill. I'm really good at returning to the original position,
that's
Fit.
Good.
Um, it's for lines like these that you hired me for your podcast.
Well, hired. Whoa. Hang on.
So if we assume that this kimono is a kimono, the thing which this kimono makes clear in her outfit and her art is that she has a like nobility, royalty. She's a goddess, you know, she's got that whole thing going on.
She is a moon goddess.
Where she's like better than you and really refined and all of that, but she doesn't really know how to do it.
I want to put out I want to put out sort of a thesis on Kaguyahime
Okay.
that I think this art does really well, and that I think we can talk about how well the rest of the outfits do it.
Okay.
Which is that Kaguyahime likes that you're attracted to her, and
Yes.
if you died in the street directly in front of her, she would laugh.
Absolutely correct.
Uh-huh.
Also, I just noticed that the kimono is tied in a bow in the front. I did not know what that was when I looked at it the
It's a
first
big
time.
bow.
It's a
like
big bow.
She
okay.
And also, like, to be clear, she doesn't want you to touch her. She just wants you to want to touch her.
Yes. I was gonna say the line, she's like a dominatrix. But I don't think that's accurate.
Yeah. I don't think so either.
But that was my association with what you said just now.
Because I don't think that she, you know...
She has no interest in you.
Yeah, to be a dominatrix is, you know, past the kayfabe, past the facade, is to, like, you know, ultimately be engaged in a consensual act of intimacy in which you necessarily have to, like, enjoy the other person enjoying themselves. Kaguyahime doesn't care about you.
Exactly.
You could die in the street and she would laugh. That's all I'm saying.
I will say, this is maybe off of the general topic of discussing Kaguyahime's visual design, but in order to prepare for this, and also because I was bored and you were late, I was listening to a bunch of Kaguyahime's voice lines, which are also available on mahjongsoul.club/content/Kaguyahime.
I can actually play them and they'll show up in the audio. Wait, is that true? Well, they'll show up in the backup track. Anyway.
Yeah. And what I will say is that her characterization in those voice lines has sort of a tsundere thing going on, which I don't think is necessary. It's necessary in the sense that all of these are gacha game characters, and so they're required to be, like, attracted to the player character on some level for your enjoyment. But the characterization of Kaguyahime in its truest form, I think, is not that. It's that she would laugh.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think this see, this is where we're queering Kaguyahime, where I'm like, and also I just don't understand what straight people and why they do the things that they do. Where I'm like, you know, Kaguyahime is a fictional woman. I will never actually encounter Kaguyahime in any real situation, let alone any real situation of, like, emotional connection or intimacy. And so Kaguyahime does not need to maintain the same appeal that a real person needs to maintain.
Yeah.
I.e., she does not need to, like, actually, you know...
She does not need to reciprocate.
She does not need to reciprocate. And in fact, to me, the thing that is appealing about Kaguyahime is that she doesn't, and that is funny and cool.
It is.
Because she's a goddess. In real life, people are not goddesses, and relationships are more complicated. But my fake pseudo relationship with Kaguyahime doesn't have to be complicated. It can just be funny, and that makes it better.
Yes. I also want to say about Kaguyahime's character as reflected in this visual art. Like I was saying earlier, part of her whole deal is that she's like kind of extremely silly.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that she's acting like she's superior to you on every level is extremely silly. And there's like elements of this which are meant to be both, meant to be both attractive in the sense that Kaguyahime's art here is tagged as barefoot. She isn't. She's wearing sandals.
They're really generous with the barefoot tag. I think it's just for things generous. Where you can see toes. If you can see toes, it's tagged barefoot.
But the fact that the sandal is coming off is both meant to be like a nod to her being a cute and appealing anime girl, and also like an aren't I so goofy kind of nod.
I was gonna say, what's more cute and appealing than feet?
Put that one in the podcast.
I'm not gonna edit this very much. Don't worry about it.
Great.
Yeah, like she's really truly just kind of like out for a stroll. She really like more than her body is like turned in such a way that it looks like she was just walking sideways and then she just kind of happened to notice you and is just kind of like going, oh. Like, she's not her facial expression is not emotionally engaged. She's not excited to see you. She doesn't even, like, it's a little bit of kind of like a Mo face kind of thing, but it doesn't even look particularly innocent. Like, she's just chilling, and she just kind of, like, happened to make eye contact with you. Like, when you happen to make eye contact with someone on the bus. That's what I'm getting from this, but otherwise she's just like she's just like out doing her own fucking thing and you're just kind of there.
I think I said this at the beginning, and I'm gonna say it again, and I'm gonna say I think this is true of both of us. I really like Kaguyahime.
I also really like Kaguyahime.
That's all that I think I had a point to saying that, but I've forgotten what it was. She's great.
Yeah. She's cute and appealing.
She's cute and appealing, and she doesn't care about you.
Yeah, she just has a strong, like, character. There's lots of characters in this game and in lots of games where, like, their whole character is, like, that they have a thing, but otherwise they're just a woman. She like, she doesn't even really have a thing. Like, being a moon goddess is such a vague thing, relatively. Yeah. Her whole thing is that she has a personality that really shines through.
She's got a couple of nods in this design to her moon goddess thing. Rabbit moon goddess Kaguya is a whole, it is an iconography which is easily referenced.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of which, I will say that, like, also, rabbit people from the moon is, like, one of my favorite Japanese storytelling tropes. I lost my mind when I started playing Tears of the Kingdom, and I realized that the ancient civilization in that game are rabbit people from the moon. They're a little subtle about it, but I was like, let's fucking go. They're all
and I'm so
realize
pleased.
This? They're rabbit people from the moon. They came from space. They're rabbit gods from the moon. They have big rabbit ears. They have big rabbit snouts.
Ears. Oh my goodness gracious.
You can really tell it in the women. Raru kind of just looks like sort of generic furry sort of amalgam. The women, I don't remember what his sister is called, but the women, I don't remember what those people are called. You know,
the Zonai.
The Zonai. The women's Zonai are really, really, you can look at them and be like, oh, these are rabbits. And then they're like, we came from beyond the stars and we're gods. And they're all Kaguyahime.
Awesome. She's also got a little moon charm on her tassel. Her tassel on her wrist being a thing which I rarely ever think about in this design. But it does have the moon on it, so they really had to hammer it in.
Yeah, I will say that this particular default skin is also a good starting point because it represents a frequent design element of Mahjong Soul skins, which is that there's just so much fucking shit on this. This is why I'm
This
like,
is not
maybe
an
we
outfit.
shouldn't try and do an overall visual thing because there's
it's
so
so
many
hard.
fucking details, and like by
Yeah.
the time we've fully described it, we've already kind of talked about it. Like her headpiece is made out of like 7 different objects.
I know. She's
Like,
got flowers.
distinct-
She's got the peen mirror thing. She's also got some golden bits framing it. She's got the golden things which are framing her, not framing her face, but
Sort of
coming down
dangling
onto her
down.
bangs. And then she's got some dangly pink bits that do frame her face.
Yeah.
And also it extends out in a big bar.
And she's got a necklace, and she's got a gold pattern on her shirt, and she's got a different gold pattern on her skirt, and she's got like a different gold pattern on her sleeves that also have the fans, and like she has so many fucking like weird bracelets and bangles, and like it's fractal. It's fractal. The more I look at it, the more stuff there is.
I said that was a necklace at the beginning, but I don't even really think that it is. I think she's just holding
I think
a
she's
gem,
just holding a gem. Yeah, I
which
think
is
she's
her
just
bond
got
item.
It.
Cute.
Yeah. Yeah, I get it.
Acceptable.
We should maybe talk about emotes.
I was also going to go there, so.
Anyway, that's Kaguyahime.
That's Kaguyahime.
How do we feel about these default emotes?
Yay!
Positive. All right, I'm going to start with the first one. First one
Okay.
is she's eating a little carrot. She got little red hearts appearing around her. She got big puffy red cheeks. She's really enjoying this carrot. How do you feel about this emote?
I use it often for when I am doing well in this video game, because Kaguyahime only really has one emote for doing very well in the video game, and it's this one where she eats a carrot. Default Kaguyahime, that is. And it is, for that purpose, totally acceptable. I enjoy, like, gloating a little bit by eating my little carrot. As a character piece, she's a rabbit. That's all this one's got going for it, is that she's a rabbit, and she needed one emote with, like, a vaguely positive emotion.
Yeah.
It's good art.
It's good art. It's cute. I like it.
It's got a little orange thing in the background, which I find nice.
Yeah, the choice of background colors and shapes is always interesting. We'll get into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's eating a little carrot. We don't need much more on this. What's up with this second one? What is this, first of all?
It took me... We're gonna have to get into this eventually, but I'm gonna explain it now. For people who are not our immediate friends, Ivy in particular has a long-running bit of explaining the Mahjong Soul emote meta and the emote tier list, and like how to play each character.
Sure. Well, if I can explain myself,
go ahead.
Like, the thing is that, like, if you want to just play some fucking Richie Mahjong, just go fucking play Tenho, you fucking boring nerd. You boring, dumb nerd. Just go play Tenho. Jesus Christ.
But you've gotta utilize the cute and appealing anime girls.
If you're playing Mahjong Soul, and you have emotes, and you have characters, the emotes and characters are part of the game. Literally, as in they're part of the way that you win and interact with other people.
Yes, you have strong feelings about this.
And so I really think about, like, emote setups in the way I've started talking about them is in the way you talk about a fighting game character, where it's like different characters have different approaches, have different options in different scenarios. Sometimes you're in neutral, and some characters are really good neutral games, some characters are really good at pressing attack, and some characters are sort of more harassers. It's exactly like a fighting game.
It is exactly like a fighting game.
Mahjong Soul is just Super Smash Bros. Melee. They're the same game.
I don't like you very much. The reason why I bring this up...
Wait, do you not like Melee?
Melee's fine. I don't like Smash Bros. That's my take.
Oh. Okay.
Mostly because I just play other fighting games and I enjoy them, and Smash Bros. Is very different from that. And so the fact that it's like It's not FGC. It's not fighting game community. It's VGC.
See, I was raised on Smash Bros, and so I find it. I don't disenjoy other fighting games, but I non-platformer fighting games are just a bit that they're hard for me to get into.
That's okay.
And also Smash Brothers is just like deep in my DNA.
I understand.
One time
I play Guilty Gear Strive. We're gonna talk about this often, I feel.
One time when I was a child, Super Smash Brothers Brawl came out. While I was vacationing in the tropics. And I remember crying because I was like, I don't want to be vacationing in the tropics. I want to be back home playing Super Smash Brothers Brawl. Get me out of this resort.
I don't understand it about Super Smash Brothers Brawl, but I feel like you've gained a point of empathy with me about this entire experience.
Anyway, okay. Many tangents
the reason why
later.
I bring this
What's up with this second emote?
Before I talk about the second emote, the reason why I had to bring up the fighting game tier list emote meta is that I was going to say about it, I've only recently really learned how to use this emote and why I should. Which is that I think of this emote, what the emote is like, she's got big old eyes. They're kind of like, they're real sparkly. They could be watery. Her ears are all droopy. And it's got a slight pink background to it. And her hands are balled up in fists next to her eyes. So she's like, either she's like doing a little... I was doing that with my hands physically with my body, even though I'm recording a podcast.
She's of like, doing like the, she's sort of doing a Carmella Dancin'. This is one of the moves in Carmella Dancin'.
She could be doing that. Or she could be doing like a, crying kind of, like, I'm so sad, crying kind of thing. But either way, I think of this emote as the really cutesy emote. And so I use this one as either a, oh, you wouldn't, you wouldn't call Richie on me. I'm just a little guy and it's my birthday. You wouldn't call Richie on a little guy on his birthday. Or I do it when I'm already in Tenpai/Richie. And other people are emoting and I just want to show off.
And you want to be non-threatening.
I want to contribute to this conversation by going look at me for a little bit.
Yeah, this is kind of like a lot of characters have this. I call this a character's I'm cute. This is a character's. This is Kaguyahime's I'm cute. This is Kaguyahime's look at me, I'm cute. And in our sort of fighting game metaphor, I'm cute emotes are a good way to sort of reset back to neutral.
Yes.
If you're a little too deep into it, if you're in a little bit, if things are a little too hot, you can I'm cute to sort of get a little bit of space.
Yeah. I find that it helps me exert dominance over other players to do a little I'm cute emote. It makes me feel like I'm comfortable in the position that I am and I don't need to try too hard.
I mean, sometimes resetting to neutral is exerting domination. If you're ahead and you reset to neutral, you're like, no, I got this.
Yeah. Anyway, I love this emote. I think it's a perfect representation of Kaguyahime's stupid little character she's got going on.
Yeah, she's cute, and also she doesn't care about you.
Yeah, super self-centered. Super willing to manipulate you to her own ends.
Yeah, just like all of my favorite women.
Yep.
Except my second favorite
Revolutionary
woman.
Girl Utena.
Who's probably going to be listening to this. So don't worry about it. My second favorite woman. I'm not going to explain this in check.
I'm not going to explain it either.
All right, next emote. She's looking to the side. She's sort of doing like she's just looking to the side. Her mouth is a tiny, tiny circle. And it's just kind of a like either bored or like that was stupid or like an I can't believe you did that. How do you feel about this one?
Absolutely. It's all the things. I would call it like a really like emote. Really?
Yeah, like a really?
Yeah.
Really?
Which I can use either when I'm like, nothing is happening and I'm really like, it's a ... kind of ellipsis. Or if somebody made a play which was so utterly like, I dislike it, but I don't dislike it in a way that makes me feel like you have the advantage.
Yeah, I think this emote is sort of like, as we move down the list, is the start of like a problem I have with this emote set, and also with a lot of sort of like early Mahjong Soul characters emotes.
Mm-hmm.
Um, in that uh, all of them are very, very visually the same. Like
Okay, yeah.
the headpiece is like in the same spot, the face is in the same spot. They have very similar like color schemes and framings, and it it at a glance, it this is less of an issue in game because you can only send
Mm-hmm.
an emote every 5 seconds. Um, but at a glance, looking at this list of emotes, so many of them are just like this exact face shape.
Yes.
In a way that I sort of puts me off a little bit.
Yeah, I use this emote sometimes as part of a sequence with a couple of other emotes we'll come to later. But the reason why I use it as part of that sequence, like ascending in, severity, is because all of those emotes are pretty similar. um,
Interesting. This is an interesting, yeah.
and I don't think that necessarily you know, the fact that this emote is part of my kit and I use it, because I play this character and because I like playing this character, doesn't necessarily mean that it's good.
Sure.
This is also true when you play fighting games.
Uh-huh.
It's like I really like doing Sabrubato on Ramlethal Valentine and Guilty Gear Strive, which is a move which is not very good, but it makes me feel good.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um,
This is a classic fighting game experience.
it is. It's like that with Kaguyahime.
Right. Um next up. This one I like a lot.
This one's great.
She's at a table. It's a little different. She's a little smaller. She's sitting at a table, and she's just got like an old school kind of like green cup of tea, and is looking off to the side in sort of a similar way, but like because of the cup, she's very visibly bored. She's
Yes.
bored. She's just drinking tea. She's just like waiting for you to get over whatever you're doing.
You can't see it very well on the Mahjong Soul Club website because it has this like gray background, but she's also sighing. She's got a
Oh, is she?
little bubble of wind out to the side. She's exhaling.
You can click on them to make them bigger.
Yeah.
By the way. Okay. Anyway. Oh yeah. That's very subtle.
It's way easier to see in game.
Yeah, that makes sense.
This is one of my favorite emotes, which I use immediately after I deal in. At the start of the next round, it's like I gotta drink my sorrows away a little bit.
With green tea.
Yeah. And also I'm tired of you. It encapsulates a whole experience, which is like, I need a drink. I am tired of you. I'm tired in general. But I'm dealing with it.
Yeah. This to me is also one of the most Kaguyahime-esque Kaguyahime emotes.
Mm-hmm.
I said Kaguyahime too many times in that sentence, but that's okay. She just doesn't like you. She just doesn't like you. She just doesn't like you, and like this is the point like at which you stop being sort of a fun little distraction and you start she starts just being like fuck off.
Yeah.
Like, get out of it. You're boring now.
The difference between her
leave,
I'm
please.
cute emote and her sighing with a cup of green tea emote is staggering.
Yeah, the lighting is very different. The way her face is sort of framed and drawn is very different. It's good. It's good.
It's great.
Some
She's off the job in this emote.
Yeah. See, the interesting thing is that I would probably use this emote in a slightly different way. In that this is a very particular I'm in Tenpai emote for me. This is a like I'm in Tenpai and I'm just like, let's just get this over with.
Yeah.
To like be winning this. It's interesting because I hate to show weakness.
Yeah, me too.
And so I wouldn't use this when I was losing because I feel like that shows weakness. But if you say I'm bored when you're winning, then that is like you're beneath me. Like you don't even matter.
Yeah. Well, I feel like very few of Kaguyahime's emotes show weakness, which is a great thing for me. And and I feel like when I use this emote in a context of I'm losing, like I said, it's an emote where you're dealing with it. Like
You're figuring it out.
It's an aggressive kind of like I'm sad or I'm bored or I'm tired emote. Some characters have emotes that are just like I'm, crying on the floor, which is like I would never do. I would never do this.
Yeah, they're very kind of like self-flagellating in a way.
Yeah. This is different. This is targeted. I'm tired of you.
I'm tired of
the fact that you're winning makes me upset. Which is a much better position to take.
Even though you're winning, it's so beneath me.
It's so beneath me.
What's up with this next one?
You're delaying my win by doing well. I've got to go get a drink to deal with it. The next emote is also one that I don't know how to use extremely well. I'm figuring it out. But this is again one of the very few like really positive positive emotes in Kaguyahime's set. She's got a little mischievous expression. Her hands are up by her mouth, which is in a little smile. Her eyes are all small and like her eyebrows are down. She's got a little sparkle by her eyes. It's very like, mischievous, like, do it kind of
do it
thing. Do it.
I think that Kaguyahime would execute Order 66.
Me too.
I think that she would find that very funny.
She would. But I don't know what utility this has necessarily. This could be an emote for, like, deal into me. You could do it.
Yeah, there's a sense of, like, I'm not quite sure what emotion is even being conveyed here.
This is an anime emote.
It's like, I don't understand, like, the hands up to the mouth implies that she's maybe saying something, but her mouth isn't open, and she's, like, angry, smiling, and she's got a little thing, and I can't tell if she's angry. Like, she's definitely mischievous, but I don't know if, like, it isn't necessarily a you're fucked kind of mischievous.
No.
It's like an I've got you where I want you. It's just kind of, she's just like a little goblin in this moment. And
which is a good emotion for Kaguyahime.
Yeah.
It's just not necessarily useful as part of a set of tools which you have to communicate with other players.
Right. And it's just like, it doesn't, to me, the emotion that this conveys is too vague without being flexible enough, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I know I've used this emote recently, because I try and do all of them if I can. I try and make use of as many emotes as I can over the course of a game, because it makes me feel good about myself.
You gotta have those mix-ups, right? You can't just use the same combos over and over again. You're gonna get red. You gotta have mix-ups.
Exactly.
Even your worst moves are good because they're mix-ups.
Exactly. You just have to play Guilty Gear with me, okay? I'm not gonna play Smash with you, but you can play Guilty Gear with me.
I did buy BlazBlue recently. Is that something?
I don't have BlazBlue.
Okay.
But maybe we'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
But I can't even remember what the context is in which I've used this emote recently. It's just like, it felt right, I guess. Or maybe even it didn't even do that.
Yeah, I don't know. Not everything has to be a hit. No. It's just it's a little disappointing because I want it to be good.
I do, yeah.
I want it to be good. And I want something that expresses this sort of general emotion, but this one just doesn't do it for me. Yeah.
I feel a similar way about the next emote, which is
Really?
she
Because
is.
I really like the next one.
I really like it as well. Enough so that I use the animated version of this from the Mahjong Soul Discord server as an emote in discord.com. But the title of it in that context is Kaguya Innocent, which I think expresses it well. I originally did not see on this emote, which has a purple background. She's, looking like up into the side, and she's whistling. She's got a little music note.
She's whistling an eighth note.
She's whistling an
which
eighth
is
note.
honestly a very short note to whistle. Like just
Yep.
That's it.
You're
That's the
getting
note.
you're getting really into the pain about the music note symbol which everybody uses.
Right, which is the eighth note.
Which is the eighth note.
Which is incredibly awkward.
But what I didn't notice about this emote when I started using it was that she's also sweating.
Uh-huh.
It's extremely subtle.
No, I see
and
it.
So the way that I used this emote was like, I'm fine. Nothing bad ever happened to me. But then I saw that it was a nervous emote, or it's supposed to be. And so now I'm a little bit more hesitant to use it in that context.
Sure, you feel like you're giving too much away.
Exactly.
Right, because I feel like the intent of this emote is like, don't worry about me, I have a big hand. But, I don't have a big hand when you do have a big hand. But in a practical sense, that makes the I'm cute Carmela Danson emote a little bit better because it expresses less of that nervousness, and so it like gets you in that place without giving too much away. That being said, it's all about the mix-ups, baby. The fact that to me, the fact that the whistle becomes nervous. Oh my god, my mouth is so full of water.
That's the opposite of what I thought you were gonna say.
No, it's like too hydrated. The fact that she's nervous can also be used to throw people off, just in the other direction, So
it's an emote for explicitly bluffing.
Yeah,
but
this is the I'm bluffing
directions.
emote. Yeah, this is the emote that gets people to whine in front of me. Whine in front of me is a mafia term that is about the scene in The Princess Bride where Wesley plays the wine game with the Sicilian
I
game. It's called the
remember
Sicilian
this one.
game.
Okay.
I've
heard this phrase before.
Vincini, is that his name? Something like that. Where it's like, which cup is which is which. This emote is for wine in front of me, where it expresses like I have a big hand so hard that you're gonna get people to go, oh, okay, she's bluffing. But then people are gonna go, well, what if she isn't what if she's bluffing about being bluffing? And then, well, what if she's bluffing about bluffing about bluffing? What if she's Australian? Etc. etc.
Yeah.
And for that reason, I think it's good.
Also, if I may, it is, to me, an extremely visually appealing emote, because, one, I don't think the face shape here is similar to 4 other emotes that I can see, 5 other emotes that I can see, all other emotes, but I think that it's nice, it's pleasant, but mostly what I like about it is the purple background contrasting with the yellow music note. Which just is, I think it's pleasant.
That's jazz,
like
baby.
This one, yeah.
Sorry, I'm adjusting my chair. There we go. Chair adjusted.
Great work.
Thank you. Yeah. I really want to talk about the background of this one. I would like to explain this one because this is one of my favorite emotes in the game.
Okay.
This emote has changed the way that I talk in real life. In which she is mad. She's got the little anime angry sign, the 3 little triangles. She's got a really great expression. This mouth shape is fantastic. It's kind of like a turtle mouth shape. Her nose is very red. She's very mad. She's pointing at you, but she's sort of pointing down at you. And she's saying, "Get off!"
Mm-hmm.
exclamation mark. And then the background is these like dark red spikes. And this one is really using the background to convey information, which I really
Yes.
like. And also, I just like cannot. I've moved into a. Ever since our mutual friend May got this character and started using this emote,
Yes.
adjusts microphone. I've moved into a phase of my life where, especially when playing Mahjong, I cannot not say "get off" when I'm mad at
Mm-hmm.
something. It's so funny that they translated it to that, and it's so funny. It's so funny.
What I like
Listen,
about it... Go
uh-huh.
ahead.
There's like it's got layers. One, it's just like a funny kind of like, it expresses the emotions so clearly and yet is also a phrase that you're not quite sure what it's actually telling you. Also, it's like obviously like, you know, you can, it's like obviously potentially a little bit sexual in a way that is sort
It's
of funny
euphemistic.
for this cheeky dominatrixy rabbit lady.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just great. It's just like it's perfect. I love Get Off so
What I was gonna
much.
say about it is that I really like that it's an objectively awkward phrase.
Yeah, exactly.
This is something which no one would ever yell in a fit of passion unless they have been influenced by Kaguyahime's Mahjong Soul emotes, as you have.
Uh-huh.
But now I also find myself thinking, for example, when a vehicle... I've recently been in a lot of vehicles,
Okay.
traveling across interstate highways, which are very stressful, and in Atlanta, Georgia, which is not a good place to be on an interstate highway in. So, for example, when a vehicle merges directly in front of you without using their turn signal, I find myself steaming with anger and thinking to myself, "Get off!
Get off!" Oh, it's so good to yell.
It's fantastic.
It's just like, see, the thing is that like on its face it seems like an awkward thing to say, but then you say it and you feel it and
It
you're
feels
like,
good.
"Oh, the mouthfeel is good."
Get off!
Get off. Like, it's get is short and sharp, and then the off is sort of like you can linger on it for as long as you need to.
Get off!
Get off! I'm peeking, sorry.
This is the right time
I'm
to
really
peek.
excited about getting off. I don't know what to tell you. It's just
too,
such a
Ivy.
good emote. It's just such a good emote. It's permanently changed my brain chemistry.
Yeah. And that's all there is to say about Kaguyahime Get Off, honestly.
That's all there is to say about Kaguyahime Get Off. Both of these last two, she's vibrating, which I think is funny.
I think it's less that she's vibrating in the last one and more that she's sending off negative energy.
Sure. In the first one, she's mad. She's angry. She's got angry eyes. She got a little frown. And she's vibrating. She's buzzing. She's about to kill you. Except this time she's not going to laugh about it. You've angered her. By the light of the moon, she will exterminate you, or whatever Sailor Moon joke is there. Is that it? Is that actually what
I think it is.
Okay.
This is unsourced. I personally don't like this emote that much.
Interesting. Why?
It's an emotion. It's a strong emotion. But as previously discussed, I feel like this emote shows weakness.
Mm-hmm.
This is a raw emotion. This is like, I mean, you could say the same thing about Get Off to some extent. That it's like, you know, you feel the need to actively, you know, admonish this person, then they've affected you, which is not great. But I feel like holding it back is even worse. Like, if you're gonna be mad, at least tell them to get off.
Yeah, I think that's very fair. I mean, I think this combos really well into Get Off. The problem is that the times when you want to use get off, like you often only have like a short amount of time to emote.
Yeah, right after you deal in.
Yeah, right after, or someone like fucking does something wrong.
Mhm.
This is like, yeah,
You don't have
this,
time for the combo because you have to wait 5 seconds between emotes in Mahjong Soul.
yeah, and it just like it doesn't, as a standalone thing, it doesn't work for me. I'm actually,
Doesn't
I'm
work.
looking at the options and I'm like, um, this combos really well with a lot of things. If I can open your mind a little bit,
Okay.
I would consider this only ever starting a combo with this, but I think it actually combos well into a couple of things. Um, like imagine shaking with anger into bored with tea. You know, I'm mad at you, and then immediately I'm over it. I'm over it. Like,
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's
fucking,
pretty
who
good. That's
cares?
pretty good.
Or,
I was thinking about comboing this into the last emote.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Which the last
Or
emote,
comboing
which
it
I
into eating a carrot. I'm mad at you. I don't
that's
fucking
also
care. I'm just gonna eat a carrot. Sorry, you can continue.
I feel like I must discuss the last emote. Is again Kaguyahime is looking off to the side as she does in many of these. Looking off to the side in the same way that she does in the with tea one. Again, her face is shadowed, but this time it's shadowed in like a dark grayish blue. So it's really in shadow. And then she's got her hand within the kimono sleeve up to her mouth, hiding her expression. And she's got these little wavy lines coming off of her in the direction that she's looking. So this is a pissed off, like sending negative energy towards you. I have, again, superior to you, but not very displeased emote.
Yeah, what's interesting about this one is that I don't get the sense from this one of like what she's expressing. What she's not really expressing here. I'm upset. What she's expressing is I'm about to upset you.
Okay.
I'm about to ruin your day. I'm about to make your life worse. And there's nothing you can do about it. I'm just barely holding back, you know? If I didn't have this fucked up kimono sleeve in front of my mouth, you would be dead already.
Yeah. Well, I understand what you're saying. Necessarily, though, it is provoked. This is a responsive emote. You don't just send this when you're about to do some shit.
Uh-huh. Interesting.
But it is like, I don't know. I find the displeasure in this one to be extremely compelling because of, like I said, the fact that she's looking down at you, which is great. And she's, concealing her face. Like it's a haughty displeasure. And I'm much more into that as an expression of like, you've just, done some shit, than shaking with anger. Because those are two different expressions of like, those are two different reactionary ways of dealing with something. And one of them is a raw emotion that you have no choice but to show to your opponent. And the other one is a deliberate expression, which, like, you understand what I mean?
No, I get you.
It's really good. I really like
I'm kind of like trapped in her eyes. I'm looking deep into her pure red eyes and I'm hypnotized.
It's great.
Uh-huh.
But I
will say
yeah.
You say first. You will say first.
This emote is, like I alluded to earlier when we were talking about, teal looking away and also sighing with tea. This is one of a set of several Kaguyahime emotes, which are intended to express displeasure about what another person at the table has done. And so I will use it in a combo. Like, I'll tell you how my combo goes, generally.
Okay, tell me about your combo game.
With expressing displeasure. It's, if, say, I'm having a set of rounds where the dealer continues to accumulate wins. This is one of the many situations in which one could use these emotes. You might start with teal looking bored. Like, okay, you've slowed down my game. I'm not happy with you, but whatever. Then they win again, and you move to T sighing, like, Jesus Christ, but all right. And then you go to this last emote, sleeve over face, expressing intense displeasure. I am going to get you. And then they win for a fourth time, and you go to get off.
Right. Or you win and you go to carrot.
Or you win. I would go to I'm cute.
Interesting. Yeah,
Again,
one thing I think
slightly more guarded.
Yeah, one thing I think about a lot is keeping the value of good emotes up, you know? Again, this is sort of fighting game metaphor about not being read in that, like, if you just spam your best attack, it'll be easy to read and it'll lose its impact. So I think carrot and get off are express such strong things and are such strong tools that you almost want to use them less, you know? You want to exist in the, like, I revel a good Kaguyahime. When I encounter a good Kaguyahime player online, they will not use get off very often, and I will revel if I actually manage to make them shit. If I actually manage to make them.
Sorry, that one took me a second, but I really enjoyed with. Say it with your chest.
Oh, I was gonna say something different. Should I just say it?
No, go for it.
Okay. I really revel when I manage to get them to get off.
Excellent.
Like, just making them pull out the nuclear option feels so fucking good.
Absolutely.
That's all I have to say.
Yeah.
Not saying any more words.
And on the other end of the spectrum, you can use carrot. Carrot is my torture time emote. Torture time, of course, being when you use up the last of your extra 20 seconds before you call your win. But carrot is not for, like, an all simples hand. Carrot is for when I know I have a Hanemon at least, and I'm gonna milk it. I'm gonna be like, you don't even know what you just did, and I am eating the most delicious carrot of all time. And then I hit the button, and then they see what I've done. And then we start the next round, and I get to eat a carrot again. Just to give them a chance to react. Yeah. Because that's part of the fun, is you gotta draw a reaction out of your opponents, or else you're not doing it right.
You gotta make them get off.
You gotta make them get off.
I don't know what else to say. All right.
Should we move on?
Do you want to take a 5-minute break and then move on?
Absolutely.
Don't stop recording.
Okay.
But I'll edit that 5 minutes out of the podcast. I'm just gonna go stretch and work my back, and I'll see you in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And I'll see you, listener, in
0 minutes.
I'll clip it. Bye.
人間よ、今日の貢ぎ物は何じゃ？早く捧げてくるのじゃ。
Hi, welcome back. It's Kaguyahime's Bond Up outfit. Available after making a bonding promise with Kaguyahime.
It says that at the bottom of every one of these bond pages, and I've never seen it referred to a bonding promise in any other context.
Available after making a bonding promise with Kaguyahime. That's all I have to say. Let's try, as we're experimenting with form, let's try the secondary method of talking about this outfit of let's just go through it bit by bit. Wait, if you click on the thing and then you zoom in, then you can zoom in on her. And that's like native to the website. You can zoom in on women. You can zoom in on women. Oh, this is so much nicer. Although there's gonna be a lot of clicks, so maybe I shouldn't do this. Anyway, here she is. It's Kaguyahime's Bond outfit.
It's Kaguyahime's Bond outfit.
Should we just go top down?
Top down, sure. I want to say before we start.
Okay.
The top of this outfit is not the first thing I notice, and I'm going to be thinking about it. I'm going to be thinking about the part I look at the entire time for the entire time that we talk about this.
Let's start there then.
Okay. It's The panties?
Here's the thing, are these panties? You're
Surely
talking
not.
about the frilly white things coming
They are
out
the
of the
frilly white
leotard,
things.
right?
Surely they are not meant to be that. That is all I can see.
But like they're kind of in the right shape and position for like the legs of bloomers.
Yeah.
And also like I think what they are. Okay, I'm gonna start not at the top, but like let's just like go over her
At
torso.
the crotch.
Let's go crotch up.
And then we'll go back down to the legs.
Sure. So she's wearing this sort of like black leather. Is this a leotard? Am I using that word correctly? No. Fuck.
It's not even close to being that, but there's really no word that can describe what the outfits in this game are.
It's a one piece. It's like a swimsuit one piece, but it's made of leather. It's a swimsuit. It's a strapless.
It looks like it has more
structure
structure than that to me.
It does have like
this is like a
structure
bustier
in the breasts. Yeah, sure. And then below the crotch of this thing. Oh my god. Does she have a little camel toe?
Yes.
Okay, alright.
I want you to know that I have known this.
This is my first time realizing this. Fascinating. Anyway, so she's wearing this like black leather one piece. And it has sort of like a normal kind of the crotch part, it looks like just a pair of underwear, except under that is poking out this like white with red lining and also with gems on it. This is freaking me out because I'm looking at these like gems on it and I'm like, if those are gems, that's going to be really uncomfortable when they're being pushed into her skin by the leather.
Oh my god, that is what those are.
Yeah. And that's coming out like
okay.
of the side of her, like the underwear part of her one piece. And then she's also got this like sort of traditional, this looks like it actually comes from a kimono, but this kind of like waistband on
it. An obi is
it okay. And then under the leotard also she has maybe a shirt. She's got a thing that's just kind of made of bands of white and red fabric.
It's the same
that I guess maybe those go down and they turn into the panty things.
Yeah. It's the same top as she had in the non-Bond outfit. And it's sleeveless, it's white, it's got red lining.
Are you sure it's the same top?
It's mostly the same. They're not entirely the same because they've added some ornaments to it because they can't resist. But it's mostly the same.
This is not the same shirt. I hate to tell you this.
It's mostly the same.
It has like a completely different pattern. What are you talking about?
It doesn't have the gold things on it, but like it's the same structure of garment.
Sure. Yeah. Okay, fair enough. Same structure of sleeveless top.
Yeah.
One thing I've never zoomed in on Bond Up Kagui. Zoom in on some women is what I'm saying. I've never noticed that on this she has a visible bunny tail.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
The bunny tail is also like really cheating to the camera in a way that like looks weird if you look at it for too long, but is fine in terms of like that's just how you draw things.
It is.
Things cheat to the camera. It's fine. She has a little bunny tail, which I enjoy.
I do enjoy. I've never noticed that before. I wonder if that's on the figurine.
Oh, I forgot there's a figurine of this.
I think about the fact that there's a figurine of this all the time.
There's a figurine of this, and the figurine has less fucked up standing. But I want to cover the rest of the outfit before I cover her posing.
Yeah.
She has not the same kimono sort of floating off of her shoulders, but a similar ones. The fans are gold instead, and it's a little bit more detail. It has some like one pin things. It's kind of a complicated, layered
so complicated
thing.
The other thing about it is that the other one covered like her waist and then like stopped there at like the skirt thing. This one is a full garment in some sense. It's off the shoulders, but it has a back.
This is just kind of a coat. It feels more like a coat.
It's a coat. And then it has this like galaxy pattern on the inside.
Which I really like.
I like it a lot. It goes down all the way to like mid-calf and billows out. So it feels more like weirdly, this feels more like real clothing than the other one.
No, I totally agree. This jacket, it owns, actually. This jacket is, like, one of the best things in this game. It's just a good jacket. For sure. I would not like to own this. I think I would look bad in it. But I would like for someone I know to own it.
I don't think I would look good in it either, but on principle. There's also, you can see, and I'm going to be nerdy about this, you can see, like, an inner sleeve to this one. There's, like, a white sleeve with a red inside.
Yeah, it's got 2 layers.
It's got 2 layers. I don't know where that other sleeve goes. I'm not worried about it.
I'm looking at it. Right,
it doesn't go anywhere.
See at the bottom of the coat, there's also 2 layers. Oh. So you're like, is the red sleeve the thing that has the galaxy pattern on top?
Well, no, because that's the red... Okay, well, whatever.
Okay, let me posit this. The red sleeve goes up to the top of the sleeve, and then they're sewn together at the top, which is why you don't see the differentiation there, and then they're not sewn together at the bottom, which is why you do see the differentiation there.
But the reason why I like
that's how I would build this garment if I was like cosplaying this and I had to sew this for real, which I know how to do, kind of.
Then you would do that.
I would do that.
That makes sense. The reason why it looks like more like a real garment is because of that sleeve. Because when a character is wearing these big billowy sleeves that are more meant to be a piece of the background than they are meant to be a piece of clothing, the thing I'm always thinking about is like, God, how does that attach even really to the body? But these are a little bit more grounded because you can see that they're flowing off of her arms, but like you can also see that there is a sleeve. Like this is, it's a piece of drapery on the clothing, which doesn't encompass the entirety of what the clothing is, and that's far better.
Right.
But I can't stop looking at the panties, which makes this outfit not good.
Which makes it no good or more good?
No good.
No good. No good. Yeah. We'll get to overall analysis, but just a couple of the details. She has this like white silk scarf that's just kind of like floating around her.
Yep, sure.
Her headdress is a little different.
It's mostly the same.
It's mostly the same, but it's
into the mirror, like you were talking
into
about.
a mirror, and like the flowers are now made of gold, and the things are a little bit arranged differently. I like that her fan has upgraded. Her fan has upgraded like you upgrade a weapon in a video game, where before it had a thing that had a single tassel and a single crescent moon, and now it has 2 tassels and kind of like almost like a pagan goddess symbol of like the waxing moon, waning moon, full moon. Except instead of a full moon in the middle, it's just a diamond, which is funny to me. It's funny that it's almost that iconography, and it's not.
But it isn't. They've decided not to.
Yeah, just decide not to. It's fine.
I like it because, if I have to be nitpicky, originally the tassel was coming off of a bracelet on her wrist.
I forgot about that. She doesn't have any bracelets.
She doesn't have any bracelets this time, which is an improvement.
Pilled.
It is an improvement. I also like that the headdress has gotten less complicated in exchange for the rest of the outfit happening.
I agree.
There are now not things like framing her face. It's instead just the golden things hanging down that are in different positions. And the red flowers that were there before, being now these little golden ornaments, is way more cohesive. And she has she still has the one peen on her, like, coat as a trim. But she also has a different Mahjong tile on her outfit in order to make up for the fact that it's no longer a one peen on the headdress.
Yeah, one thing I had sort of alluded to but didn't fully get into is sort of a problem in the Kaguyahime emotes, is that the headdress is so fucking big and it takes up so much fucking space in the frame, and it's so annoying. This is a lot more conservative, it's a lot more reasonable, and it frames her face in honestly a much more attractive way. One last note before we talk about her legs. This is a great podcast.
This is a good way of doing this.
I Another new detail I noticed is that some of her hair is in these big kind of like Star Wars ass braids.
Yep. Yeah.
Which I think is cute. It matches the headdress. It's cute.
It
Should we
does.
talk about some legs?
We should. She's got a garter on the stocking that isn't doing anything. It's just a pattern. She's wearing
but
these...
also it owns. I love this
It owns.
8-pin garter.
It's really great.
When I was like 16 to 20 and I was dressing vaguely like this,
Mhm.
I would have, and if I was playing Mahjong then, I would own this garter. This is this is a cute touch.
She's got these semi-transparent black tights, which are all down her legs, all the way down to her feet. There's no sense of where these tights begin and end. Somewhere under the panties, I'm sure. But it's also got this garter on the left leg, running bit where I don't know how to determine which leg it is. The left leg, which is the 8-so symbol from Mahjong, but in a little repeating pattern, and it's actually incredibly cute. But the other important thing about her legs are her shoes.
These are good shoes.
They're really good. These are tagged on the image as pumps.
I would say these are pumps. They're pumps. They're black. They're shiny black leather pumps, and like at the sort of top of the front of them, are just little white rabbits, and they're very cute. They're great.
Little cartoon rabbit heads. I don't understand where these go on an actual piece of clothing, but they are incredibly cute, and so I don't care.
You don't. You just sort of sew them into the seam. You just sort of sew them into the seam of the shoe, and they just hang out.
They just chill.
They just chill. Also, she's standing like this, huh? This is sort of like the big thing that people notice when they look at this. And then if you look at the figurine for this, they make her not stand like this as much because they realize that this is an unsustainable position, and so they have to change her standing position for the figurine so that she can stand. And that to me is the funniest thing that has ever existed.
I think mostly proportionally, this image, I think this is true of a lot of the full art for characters in Mahjong Soul, is that you only really see the top half of them or like down to the knee, and never really the full image when you're playing the game a lot of the time. And so it doesn't really matter where the position of the rest of the body is. But proportionally, if you look at this image, if you zoom out enough on mahjongsoul.club, you can see the entire
out of
image.
A woman.
If you zoom out on a woman, the legs are the feet are positioned so much farther than shoulder width apart and so far away from the head that it is like not cute and appealing.
Yeah, and they're also pointed in. Like she's not in a stable. She's in a, and they're pointed in, and she's on her tippy toes, and it's the least appealing thing ever.
I need to stop looking at the legs of Mahjong Soul characters very long because I'm having to close my eyes in order to get the image of how long those calves are in my brain.
Yeah,
her calves are really long and her ankles are really long.
I'm like measuring her torso and head with my fingers, and then moving that down to her legs, and then I'm looking at my own body.
The knee to her foot is the same length as her knee to her shoulder.
You're not wrong, except even longer because she's bending her legs.
I know. This is true of every Mahjong Soul character, and I hate it.
They have legs.
Moving on. I don't want to think about it too much, because it's just a problem with how they draw these characters. Not like a problem where it's like, this is bad art. It's that this is a way of, like, you stretch the character out like this for a reason. Like, to get a little bit, like, art historical and, like, a nerd, you do this, you know, this is how they drew women to make them look nice, in, like, the 16th century. They would just stretch out their limbs really long. Look up Madonna of the Long Neck and just think about that for a little bit, and you'll see exactly what I mean.
Of the long neck. Oh,
this is what attractive women are.
So true.
Is they have long limbs and a long neck and a long face.
What's up with this baby?
Yeah, that's also a thing, is that, like, the Christ child is drawn really elongated as well, and it's a problem.
Well, the thing is that he got it from her, you know?
Exactly.
She's long and
because she's beautiful.
thus long baby.
Well, mostly it's to show his maturity despite him being an infant because he's God.
Yeah, you're God.
I'm an art.
I don't know where that
I'm an
came
art
from.
student. Anyway, the point of this is just to say that like the legs of these images being disproportionate in a way that freaks me out is not because they're like poorly drawn. It's for a good reason. It just also freaks me out.
Yeah, I mean, my really, and this is some like real fucking like kind of boring second wave feminist analysis. But like, you know, she's drawn in a weak stance because women weak equals attractive, you know?
Absolutely.
And like, I don't want to get too into that, but I will say that is one of the things that makes this outfit boring to me. For all of the reasons that this outfit is not boring, she's like, this outfit is truly her in like dominatrix / moon goddess form. She's got the moon goddess cloak, she's got the dominatrix leather one piece.
Yep.
She's ready to go. And then she's in this stupid fucking stance that even if you zoom in and like pull up to her head, like go above her knees, you can still see that her legs are pointing into each other. And it ruins the whole thing forever.
It does.
It also makes it deeply funny, but it also ruins it forever.
Worse if you like cut off past the knee, because it just makes her look like, I don't know, the way that she looks like she would be standing if she were standing normally, if you just ignore everything that's below the knee, is somehow worse to me. In terms of like what you can imagine she's doing is like, you're not in a power pose. But I do think that I would give this a little bit more grace than you would, which is to say that like this is a weak stance, but it is a wide stance, which at least at first glance visually gives her some credence as like imposing. It's just that her knees are pointed inwards.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think there's an analysis of this in which you could argue that this is sort of a playful stance, similar to the stance of her first skin, in that she's just bouncing on her toes and having a good time. And she doesn't need to be in a strong and powerful stance to be the strong and powerful one in this like implicit relationship of like you and her looking at each other, because she's Kaguyahime.
Yeah.
That's like an option, and also it's still like not cute and appealing to me.
Yeah. I mean, I think that this outfit just isn't trying to do necessarily, if it's trying to do the thing where she's like, it's silly because she's not very good at the thing that she's doing, it's because of how much is going on with this outfit. Like, if there's anything really goofy about this image, it's that she's got a galaxy coat with a patterned kimono and an obi that looks a little bit like samurai armor, and her panties are showing, or they're not, or they look like it. She's got a garter, and she's got these ornaments. Like, there's a lot happening. But that's also true of every Bond outfit.
Yeah.
So I'm just attributing this because I want it to be true.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like this image in general. It's different than the basic Kaguyahime.
It's different than the basic Kaguyahime, but it still carries over almost every single visual element.
Yes.
Which is the thing that I want from a Bond outfit. It's
yes,
like, you look at this and you're like, this is the upgraded version. This is like the mobile game ad, like level 1 to level 99 of that earlier thing. Of like, you can see the clear, she's still the same class, you know?
She's cool now.
She's cool now, but she's still herself in a big way, which I like.
She's also now looking at you head on, which I kind of like. She's looking at you head evolution from the
she's
first
smiling
one to the
at you. She's also kind of like leaning her face on her fan in a like, you know, amused kind of fashion, which is funny.
She's got a little bit of like her expression is visible, but she's got a little bit of what we were talking about with that last emote, where she's got a thing held up to her face such that she could, like, she could open that fan at any moment.
Yeah, it's kinetic. I don't hate this image. I don't know. The more I look at the legs, the more I'm like, I don't know. Maybe it's okay, but I feel like I might be succumbing to like a certain amount of, the thing.
Stockholm syndrome.
Stockholm syndrome. That's the one. Yeah.
I don't know how I pulled that one out.
Stockholm syndrome.
I said that half as a joke.
We're just so in sync because of the thing. Absolutely.
Because of the Stockholm syndrome we're both experiencing. Emotes.
Because of the Kaguyahime Stockholm syndrome. Emotes. She give you a little finger gun. She's got some hearts around her. She's winking at you. She's got a big smile.
Again, this is an aggressive emote that's not present in her original kit. This is an emote which is at you directly, not just a thing that I'm experiencing right now. This could be your thank you emote if you wanted it to.
Yeah, in many ways, this is like, what was I gonna say? I don't know. I don't remember.
This could be thank you. This could be like, come here. This could be, aren't you curious about what I have in my hand?
This could be like a cheeky little, like, I gotcha. I gotcha. This
could be welcome to the table. Like, this could be anything. By which I mean it's fine.
I like it. I feel like it, I don't know. I like these emotes. I love to throw a little kiss at my, this is just a personality thing also. I love to be cheeky. I love characters that let me be kind of like cheeky and let me be aggressive.
Yeah.
In a very kind of teasing way. I love to tease my opponents. And to me, this is a teasing emote. This is a like, it's flexible, but I feel like it still has a lot of impact. And I like it.
I think that I'm a big fan of a strong positive emotion. It just like, it makes me feel good. And so I like it in a character. But the thing which is, if we consider this as like a DLC to the original kit, in some ways I appreciate having this new option. And in other ways, this is so different from how I'm used to playing the character that I almost don't want to use it. Because I'm used to my only positive options being like self-centered or being, self-contained, where I'm not responding to anything. That now I have this option where I can positively respond to something someone else is doing. Like, if anything, this replaces the goblin emote for me.
I would agree with that. I think this is a better version of the goblin emote. This is how you tease people when you're being a little silly.
Yeah.
I think if you're enjoying yourself, you eat a carrot. But I think if you want to enjoy other people's suffering, that's what this is for.
I mean, but I play Kaguyahime as it is by enjoying other people's suffering by just doing my own thing and watching everyone else react to it. Like, the joy of having that self-centric carrot-eating emote that's not even at anybody. It's like, look at how good I did at getting this Hanemon, and now I'm just gonna eat a carrot about it. And it's at you, but it's not like, it doesn't look like I'm at you. I'm like kind of deliberately ignoring you. Like, that's part of the whole bit. This is a different option, and so it's for a different play style, and I can appreciate that. It's just not how I'm used to playing this character, so I would have to get used to it. I would have to integrate it into the kit in a very different way and use the whole kit in a very different way, I think.
Interesting. See, how do you feel about this next one then? Because to me, this next one is just kind of it's very similar to the Dark Energy one, the last one smug. of the last set, but it's smug. In this one, to me, it's more unclear whether or not she's laughing. This might be laughing or might not, in a way that the other one kind of isn't. How do you feel about it?
I'm not a huge fan, which is a funny thing to say because there's a fan in this emote. Ha ha ha! This is an emote where she's got a dark background and she's like, her face is in shadow, but her eyes are in these little slits, and so she's looking up and to the right, and then her fan is open and covering her mouth. It's... I just feel like, I don't know. This one's, again, it's really direct in a way that's different from her other emotes. And I don't feel the need to be, like, I don't know, sly like this.
Mm-hmm.
I think, like, it doesn't click with me. This isn't an emote that I would use. But that's just kind of me and my playstyle, I think.
Do you feel similar about this last one?
No.
I'm going to interesting, because to me, this one is the most direct.
This one's extremely direct, but I love it. This one, Kaguyahime has a beaming expression. Her eyes are shut in this happy expression, and she's, has a gleeful little mouth. She's got red action lines as a background. And she's holding a chainsaw, and it's revving up. And it's the greatest thing ever, so that's all there is to say about it. I like that this one is extremely direct. I'm gonna be clear, I like this one for extremely biased reasons, and it's because I'm a big fan of violence.
Right.
It does not matter to me how much this fits into the kit, I just like it as an image. And I like being able to have my character do active violence against another human being.
Yeah, no, totally. Yeah, in a way, I feel like it... I agree with you. I'm not actually sure how much this one fits with Kaguyahime, in that I don't think Kaguyahime cares enough about you to, like, put in the effort to kill you with a chainsaw. However, the idea of Kaguyahime killing you with a chainsaw is very funny.
It's very funny.
And so it's good as a self-contained object.
It is. And I appreciate that, at the very least, it maintains this sort of, like, I don't care if you die attitude with this extremely happy expression. She doesn't even look murderous. She just looks pleased.
Yeah, that's a good point. I feel like she swings this chainsaw at you, and she doesn't care if it actually hits you.
Yeah.
Like, whether or not it actually hits you, she doesn't care. Like, it's as fun if it doesn't as if it does.
Yeah.
No, I agree.
I don't know when I would use this emote. I just like to have it.
You just like the option of violence.
I just like to look at it.
Yeah.
My microphone...
This is a treat for you. This isn't directed at other people.
This is for me.
When you look at this object, when you
it
look
makes
at this
me
image,
better
you're
at
not even
Mahjong.
thinking about people. You're just thinking about, I like this image.
Yeah, see, this is the most self-centered emote of them all, because I'm not even going to use it.
You just pull up the emote list and you look at it. Yeah.
I relish in the fact that I have the option to say this. My microphone currently is resting on top of a copy of Volume 12 of Chainsaw Man. And that's all I have to say about that. Shall we move on to the next outfit?
Shall we move on? Oh, this is an outfit. This is an outfit. This is kind of what I've been leading up to, is talking about this one.
Okay.
Let's just quickly go through it. It's Kaguyahime. She's got the rabbit ears. She's in what I would describe as a sexy Santa outfit. She's got like a Santa hat or hood or cape. It's kind of unclear. It has reindeer horns, which I think is funny because she also has rabbit ears.
Yeah. She's got it's like a reindeer jackalope.
Yeah.
If you want to go for that.
She's holding the arm of this... Oh, no, she's not. She's got like a big plush bunny beside her, but then attached to that plush bunny is a smaller plush bunny that she's holding on to. It's kind of vague.
What? I cannot read the position of her arm in this image. I don't get it. Oh, no, I understand a little bit, I guess.
Yeah, for the longest time I was like, oh, she's holding onto the arm of the big one. And now I'm looking at it and I'm like, this arm has a face. No, it's just a separate guy.
I get it now. Because the other plush rabbit has this
big
gray
plush
hat.
Yeah, there's
It makes
little...
it impossible to read.
Uh-huh.
Okay,
she's
I
also
understand.
holding a like basket of gifts and throwing out some gifts. She's got these weird red gloves that sort of like flange out at the wrist. They look... When I look at these, I'm like, these are the gloves that like musketeers wear. That's not accurate, but that's my immediate pull.
Yeah.
She's wearing a it's not quite a lumberjack plaid, but it's like a red and black and yellow and like plaid pattern one piece with a skirt.
Yeah.
And then the skirt has like a fur fringe on the bottom, and then also on the inside looks like it has reindeer fur. It looks like the inside is made of like brown fur. Which seems pretty warm. Oh, we get to talk about thigh squishing in this one. Great.
Oh,
it's an important thing to talk about.
It is an important part of the Mahjong Soul.
She's got a big bow behind her, and then she has sort of white thigh highs, and then at the bottom, tied to her leg via ballerina wraps, she's wearing high heels. And then sticking out of these high heels are ice skates. They're high-heeled ice skates with ballerina wraps. And then behind the whole thing is this sort of like swoosh of ice and stars, and it's a whole thing. And she's bent over, throwing gifts backwards. She's looking backwards. She's like sticking out her tongue.
You're leading up to it, really. You're taking your time.
I'm taking my time. And you can just like really just like see her butt. Is that what I was leading up to?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, this is the thing. This is the thing that I've been sort of leading up to in my overall character analysis of Kaguyahime, and really why I don't like this skin. It isn't because it's kind of a visual mess, which is subjective, and also the fact that it's a visual mess, I think, is very funny.
It is.
But like to me, this is this is sort of a betrayal of Kaguyahime, in that she's sort of like.
This image is an invitation, in a way that betrays Kaguyahime's character, because her previous images being sexually attractive was like an untouchable kind of thing, and now she is flashing her ass at you and looking back at you with her tongue sticking out.
Yeah, this is a in this she's like vulnerable and open in a way that feels out of character. That is not what
Kaguyahime is about.
And also is just uninteresting to me.
Well, here you go. This is your perfect opportunity to examine what straight people are all about. Why is this appealing?
Also I have to talk about thigh squishes briefly.
Yes, of course.
Every time a character in this game is wearing a thigh high, you can see a visible line where like the thigh high is slightly tighter than the thigh. I mean, thigh highs are like this. It's complicated. Well, and I don't know. I used to wear a lot of thigh highs, and like looking at this, I'm like, all of the thigh highs in this game feel slightly too tight.
Yes.
In the way that you can see the flesh kind of, you can see the fat and muscle kind of pushing out.
Yeah.
This is a really unattractive way to explain a thing that is trying to be attractive.
No, but you're explaining it correctly.
And I get it. And also every time I look at it as a person who used to wear a lot of thigh highs, I'm like, you look like you're losing blood flow.
Yeah, it looks a little painful. I don't know. I don't wear a lot of thigh highs, so I'm not with you here, but I'm spoiled by wearing nice socks in general. Nice knitted socks, and I just think about like any kind of sock that like comes up to my like calf. Is like, it should be a gentler transition than this. It's just like, it shouldn't be this constricting. It should have an elastic band. Like, come on.
Yeah. It should have a gentle elastic band, such that at the very top of the thing, it's actually a little loose.
Yes.
if it's just being held by like this tightened force, it's gonna be very uncomfortable. Especially if you're skating on high heels. Well, like throwing gifts behind you and also like inviting people to have sex with you. You know?
Can I tell you what
Like
bothers
that's a
me about
lot of
this
things to
image?
be doing all at once. Well, also your thighs are running out of blood.
Yeah.
Yes.
What
What's
bothers
up?
me about this image is that her hair is brown.
That's true. Her hair is also very different. While her bangs are still there, her hair is brown and there's also less of it. It's
There's
not
less of it.
clear where the rest of her hair is.
It's,
She's
I
always
guess,
had this
inside
big...
the goddamn cape. But, like,
I guess
you know,
so.
this is just how you draw, so I'm mostly okay with it. But, and the hair is in similar wraps to what the Bond outfit has, except it's got these little stars, because that's part of the motif
It's
here.
kind of in the ballerina... The like, there's some visual stuff here going on. It's kind of got the ballerina wraps of what's on her shoes.
Yeah, but...
A little bit.
It's like... Part of what's been abandoned in this image, which bothers me, is... There are many things that have been abandoned in this image. But one of them is the moon goddess thing. She's got the bunny ears still, because that's a part of her character design, which if you took it away, it'd be extremely strange.
She's also got a little bunny tail on her butt.
She's got the little bunny tail. But there's no kind of iconography like there is for her being the moon goddess Kaguya, a rabbit who's come down from the moon, like there is in the other ones, which would normally be fine. This is a Christmas image. But in combination... you can't
I love
do
the
that
implication.
much.
I love the implication that Christmas is opposed to the moon. You have a choice of either Christmas or the moon.
That's not what I meant.
You
but
can't
I
have both
appreciate
at
that.
once.
What I meant was you can only do so much in a single image.
No, you can only have Christmas or the moon.
But the fact that her hair is brown in this just feels like such an untenable, like, extension of that kind of, like, we've abandoned the fact that this is a Japanese moon goddess, and now it's, like, this weird...
It feels like someone doing a shitty... Oh, I just noticed she has this weird, like, garter on her arm also.
Yes, I've been thinking about it, but I didn't want to say anything. We have
I
enough
just say
to go
things
through.
as soon as I say them. The way that this image feels is it feels like, okay, so like this is a good place to. No, I want to get into this later. I need to leave room for things to talk about when we talk about Dripping Glamour Kaguyahime. But like when I was wearing a lot of thigh highs, I'm currently extremely butch to the point where when I tell people that I used to wear like short skirts and thigh highs and stuff and be very femme, they laugh often. I don't know if you've ever seen a picture of me, but I'd literally never not wear a plaid flannel. I'm that kind of lesbian.
I understand.
And where was it going? Anyway, in that phase of my life, I was extremely into burlesque. You know how it goes.
I do.
And to me, this is someone doing a burlesque performance as Kaguyahime, but they're also not really understanding Kaguyahime. They just want to like enter like an amateur burlesque competition as a recognizable character.
Okay,
We're pretending we live in a world where Kaguyahime is a recognizable character. And as such, like, it's just not the same person, but it's someone trying to look like her, and thus it gives me a very strange, I'm a dog and my owner has come home wearing a hat and a ski mask.
Yeah.
Oops. I'm just gonna say it anyway. And she smells the same, but she doesn't look the same.
Yeah.
In my dog metaphor.
In your dog metaphor. Also, I think these plushy rabbits are antithetical to Kaguyahime's character.
Yeah, I don't get why they're even here at all. Like, I don't know what they're doing. They don't need to. They clutter the image so much. They clutter
the image, and I don't think that Kaguyahime is deliberately presenting herself as someone who enjoys cute things. The opposite, in fact.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, she doesn't even bond up with plush things. She bonds up with gems.
Part of my point.
Yeah, and like, why is she giving me gifts? Like, why does she give a shit about me? I don't like this skin. Not a fan.
The bottom of this page, which I guess is the quote that's associated with
Oh,
this
right.
one.
Yeah. Every skin has a little
As
quote.
opposed to the Bond one, which is just when making a bonding promise with Kaguyahime. This one says, "Tired already, mortal? Catch up, hee hee. Tonight I'm going to surprise those who are expecting their Christmas gifts."
And that to me works because in the joke here is that like you think you're gonna get a Christmas gift and instead she's gonna chainsaw you.
That's better. Yeah. If she had a chainsaw in this image, it would be better.
If she was just hugging a big chainsaw.
Yeah.
See, yeah, there we go.
I know that's
we
not even part of her
it.
character really either, but I would like it.
No, we've fixed it. We fixed the skin.
Fixed it. There's one emote associated with the skin. And it is her in this hooded outfit with little reindeer, horns and everything. And her face is completely turned away from the camera. The background is fire, and she's punching a punching bag.
A punching bag that is the big rabbit, to be clear.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
Yes.
Okay. This redeems the big rabbit.
Yeah, it's for punching.
If it's for punching, then I like it. That being said, I don't get it.
This is what I say about a lot of things. You don't get this emote?
Well, I mean, I guess.
I mean, I get it. I just, I don't feel like Kaguyahime needs to express this particular kind of violence. It feels so petty.
Yeah.
It feels like such petty violence
She
to
has
just
a chainsaw.
punch someone. If you're already, if you're buying skins for Kaguyahime, you already have bond up with her, probably. And so you already have a chainsaw. And so when, it's kind of uninteresting.
You have
I like
violence.
This is our first emote that is framed in a new way. It's like a full body shot. It's a side shot. It's like, I like that about it, but I'm like, whatever. Punch. Yeah. Who cares?
If you have the violence and you want to express the violent energy, at least direct it at your opponents. Don't direct it towards the rabbit. That's showing weakness. Don't show weakness.
Sure. This is an I'm frustrated. This is another I'm frustrated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you don't need
so
that.
True.
To me.
You don't need that. You don't need that. Don't show Never show weakness.
Kaguyahime is not frustrated.
She's better than that.
She's better than that.
All right, ready to move on?
Yep. Right, there's another one before we get to the really good stuff.
I have a lot to say about this one too.
Festive Aroma, Kaguyahime.
Festive Aroma, Kaguyahime.
This is another one where the Mahjong Soul Club tags have it as barefoot, but it also has it as pumps, because she is barefoot, but she has pumps which are on the ground next to her.
Which I actually really here's a secret. I actually really like this skin. I actually like this skin a lot.
Okay. No, I do too, actually.
This skin is animated. When it's animated, it looks like shit. She does eat when you win, she does eat a little candied hawthorn, which is cute. But it looks, all the tweening animation in this game looks like shit.
Yeah.
So I'm glad we're looking at the still image. But I think that this skin is good, actually.
She's seated on a couch. Just paint a picture real quick. She's seated on a couch. There's some incense burning. There's some smoke effects going on. It's for the Chinese New Year. She's got her hair in these little buns instead of being just, out. She's got some lanterns and a little, blossoming branch in a vase. She's got some plushies next to her on this couch. She's got some, red envelopes for the Chinese New Year. She's got the pumps on the ground. The rug is a one peen, which is really cute. And then she's got this stool with the incense on it. And then her outfit.
Her outfit is, she's wearing kind of like a, it's got a boob window, which is funny.
It's got a boob window.
On a
it doesn't
clasp
need to.
on the...
It doesn't even need to have that collar.
No, it has sort of like a white collar with a gold trim on the inside, like forming a boob window with her dress, which is sort of like a long black, I would almost describe this as a cocktail dress.
Yeah.
That has like sort of a triangle of lace at the front and then lace on the sides. And then like sort of shortens on one side while still being long on the other. Or just has a really extreme slit. I think it just has a really extreme slit because you can see like the other half of it underneath her. And then you can see like a little bit of her upper thigh / butt. And then some ribbons holding together the short side. And it's like a black dress that sort of fades from black to red, and at the bottom it has some like black and red detailing with gold.
It's a very pretty
outfit. She also has these puffy transparent detached sleeves, which are not my favorite part of this skin.
Extremely silly, and I could do without them. However, I don't think it would be a Mahjong Soul outfit nor a Kaguyahime outfit without them.
Yeah, no, that's true. And then also she has bare feet. The bare feet are fairly prominent in the image, and then she has some like honestly really nice sort of red bottomed pumps with 1-pins on them.
Yeah.
Just kind of sitting on the floor.
Yeah. I like the whole scene going on here, but especially what I like about the whole scene going on here is that we have returned triumphantly to the stage of Kaguyahime being physically away from you and kind of almost mocking you with that distance.
She's far away from you, and she's also... I like this skin a lot from, I think this skin is the best they ever do it, with, like, what is, in my very gay opinion, like, the ideal state of the Kaguyahime sexual power dynamic.
Also, she has a bunny tail in this one, which I didn't...
Oh, she does. I keep missing the bunny tail. Where it's like, she's relatively, you know, she's kind of like in a... on its face, she's kind of like in a... One could... If one was a sort of awful person, one could posit she was in a vulnerable position.
Yeah.
Because this dress is sort of scanty. She's her shoes off. She's relaxed.
Burning.
Yeah. But also she like so clearly is the one in power here. She's sort of like beaming at you with an almost mocking smile.
Yeah.
And she's just here eating her candy with her like fan snapped shut. And she's just kind of like, hi, what? And this is the energy I get, and it's good.
My favorite part of it, to me, is the fact that there is no room on this couch for you.
Absolutely.
It's covered
like she's
in
prioritizing these plushies over you.
This is the purpose of the plushies in this image. Finally. They have a reason. They're comfortable. She's in the lap of luxury. And also they're taking up space. As well as actual money. Sitting on the couch.
The plushies are better than you. The thing about this image is that the plushie, this lucky cat plushie with the little moon on its forehead is a better person than you. It's more interesting. It like is a better use of her time.
Yeah.
It's, you know, it's better in bed than you. It's just better than you.
These money envelopes are better than you.
Yeah, exactly. I'd rather have like a 10 yen bill than you.
Exactly.
10 yen
it's
is
fantastic
not very much.
To me. This is great. If I had to make one complaint about this outfit, it's that the buns are a little much. As far as like
the Leia buns?
The Leia buns. It's, you know, I'm going to say the words orientalizing, despite the fact that this is a video game from a Chinese company. You can be a Chinese company and be deliberately doing an Oriental thing. It's too much. You've got enough going on to make it clear that you're doing a Chinese thing. You don't need to put her hair in buns.
Yeah, I don't know. I agree with you, and I'm also like, this hairstyle is pretty cute. It
It's fine.
maintains the like shape of her hair.
Yeah.
Um,
This is the replacement for a headpiece in this one.
yeah. She has like the light is reflecting off her hair in a rainbow, which like
Okay.
is representation in my mind. Um,
Finally.
Fine, I'll take what I can get from this game. This game has some canonical lesbians in it. We'll get to them eventually.
Oh boy.
They are all crossover characters, but they are in this game.
Yeah. I thought for a minute that you meant that Mahjong Soul had invented a lesbian. Which is the funniest way to say had a lesbian character.
Yeah,
but
we'll talk about this as we go along. I was gonna say, do you think Kaguyahime is into women? And my answer,
Kaguyahime isn't into anyone.
Yeah, that's the problem, is that she's not into anyone. But I think she'll take adoration from anyone, obviously.
If a woman is obsessed with her, then she's into that.
Yeah, exactly.
That was the sound of my elbow popping. I don't know if it picked up on Discord, but it definitely picked up on the recording.
Well, now that you've said this, I have to keep it in, so...
This emote, on the other hand, is nothing.
Okay.
Which is a real shame.
Uh-huh. She's about to murder this cat plushie.
Sure.
In this emote, she's doing a JoJo pose, but not like what you think of this emote looks like JoJo to me, and I don't know how to explain why.
It's because of the background.
Oh, that's true. It's got the JoJo background. You're not wrong. Anyway, she's got her hands sort of out. She's got like a big sort of evil, angry smile on her face, red cheeks, and she's about to sort of like rip into this cat plushie.
What I do like about it is that the rainbow reflection on the hair is preserved in emote form.
Oh, so true. It is still like a subtle little rainbow.
Why?
Fantastic. I don't know.
I'm sure that it reads better against a transparent background, which is to say the background of the table that you're at, but the background being all of these, like, wavy little lines against the Mahjong Soul light gray, the Mahjong Soul Club light gray, is, like, extremely busy to me. I can't read anything that's happening in this emote.
Yeah, it's a busy emote. I also feel like this emote, like, the parts of this outfit that this emote shows off
are not the good ones.
Are the plush, which is good, but then also,
sure.
like, the weird boob window, which I like, but is not the best part of the outfit. And then the hair buns, which we've talked about. And it's just like, it doesn't exude. There are some emotes that are basically just like a small picture of the skin that they're for. And like, I have mixed feelings on those, but at least they get at the energy, you know?
Yeah.
This one doesn't. It doesn't. In this one, the sexual power is like very explicit, that she is like, in this emote, she like actively has power over this thing instead of like passively having power, which is less interesting and less characterful. And again, sort of like, you know, in a sense, like you were talking about, it betrays a certain amount of weakness. It's too aggressive in a way that is uncharacteristic and not useful.
My main problem with this emote is that it doesn't read as Kaguyahime.
That is also true. She has like a different face shape from her other emotes.
Yeah. It's like the fact that the hair is in a bun and not... The hair is in these buns, and so it's not splaying out is also a problem, because it just changes the shape of her silhouette in a way that messes with these emotes, and then the ears are up there, and they don't... All of this just doesn't... It doesn't add up to Kaguyahime, and so I don't like it as an emote. Like, regardless of what it's trying to convey.
Yeah, agreed. I love this skin, though. Broadly.
It is really good.
I think that this is like this is where I like give away the fact that I like actually secretly in the background make a fair bit of erotic art. A lot of written stuff, some painting. And this to me is like probably the first piece of like decent like softball erotic art that we've gotten.
Yeah.
And it just like it works for that. And like I don't know, a lot of people have opinions about like whether Mahjong should be horny. And I'm just like, listen,
This
if
is one of
Mahjong
the
is
opinions which we are going to get into on this podcast by
Yes.
virtue of it being this podcast.
if Mahjong is going to be horny, it should be good at porn.
Yeah.
End of
I agree
sentence.
with this. That's all
And
we have to
with
say
that,
about
I
it,
think
really.
we should move on
Uh-huh.
to to truly the climax of Kaguyahime.
Sorry.
I did not think that's.
I found that one inherently funny, and so we had to...
Thanks. This is Dripping Glamour Kaguyahime.
Just, you take it from here.
I have a lot of things to say about. I have a lot of things before I even start saying things about this. The first of them is I just like want to talk about like whether Mahjong can be horny.
Mm-hmm.
Specifically, I want to ask you, I guess I'll just, so that we can talk about this openly, unless you really don't want to admit this,
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to give a warning that I may be about to say some bad words and slurs that I'm like allowed to say, but might say. You have a particular sticker on your laptop.
Yeah.
That I'm fond of. Are we allowed to talk about what this sticker says?
Yeah, it says fag.
Yeah, it says fag.
It's specifically,
faggot,
I would like to actually...
faggot. Okay.
Faggot.
All right.
I would like to actually specify that this sticker has some other words on it other than fag.
Ooh, I didn't know this. Exciting.
Those words are... I could like turn around my laptop to look at it, but it would make a noise. But I believe off the top of my head, those words are, I love being A, I love you if you're A, and, it gives me strength to be A, like something along those lines. But mostly, I love being a fag, I love you if you're a fag.
So true. You know what, Ash? I love you too.
I love you too.
Anyway, the reason why I asked this is one like thing that people say a lot about Mahjong Soul is that they like can't open it in public or like can't open it in class or whatever. Like I remember when this skin came out. I remember exactly when this skin came out. It was the only thing that me and May talked about for
about
approximately 3 months.
Yes.
Yes. And I remember a lot of those sentiments, and I'm just like, with the context of like you have an intentionally inflammatory sticker on your laptop.
I do.
How do you feel? Not how do you feel about how other people feel? Because other people feel how they feel. It's fine.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that sentiment?
How do I feel about like the sentiment that you wouldn't open Mahjong Soul in public?
Yes.
I find it understandable. I also, in the specific context of the fact that I have a sticker on my laptop that says fag, I think that you should open Mahjong Soul in public. Because on a, like, an ideological level, we have to get over it. We have to get over ourselves a little bit.
Yeah, here's well, I can let you finish.
We have to be able to like open this image of Kaguyahime and have it display on our persons because it because
I am DMing your mom. I am getting your address. I am getting this printed on a t-shirt and sending it to you. Now that you've said this.
Because this image was created for an explicitly erotic purpose. You're playing a Mahjong game. Those two things can coexist, and it's fine.
Mahjong can be horny. It's
Mahjong
fine.
can be horny. Like, and it's hard because I don't want to say Mahjong can be horny because sometimes we have no other choice than to use the most prolific English language Mahjong client for competitive Mahjong. But also, like, I don't know, man. This is, like, the most explicit image of the 5 that we've opened today, for sure.
I think this is arguably the most explicit image in the game.
Yeah.
Which is why it's a good place to start.
Yes, absolutely. Is it porn? That's my question.
Yeah. What is porn?
What is porn? I don't think that it's porn by virtue of being an image created for the, like, explicit. I don't think the creator. This is going to be against everything I would say about media in every other context. I don't think the creator creating this as erotica makes it porn in this instance because it is incidental to playing Mahjong. Because you have a decent chance of encountering someone using this skin while playing competitive ranked Mahjong, I think that it is not necessarily porn.
This is yeah.
That's my take.
Sure. No, I agree.
Either way, you should open Mahjong Soul and either way.
I just, like, here's my perspective. Yeah, is, like, I think other people should get over it.
Mm-hmm.
I also think that other people should get off. Not like that, but like in the get out of my business.
Yeah.
Get off. If I have my laptop up in public and Dripping Glamour Kaguyahime wins the game and she's sitting there for 10 seconds, like, who fucking don't look at my laptop?
Honestly, I would be more embarrassed if assuming that in a situation where Dripping Glamour Kaguyahime wins the ranked Mahjong match and is sitting on my screen for 10 seconds and I'm in public, I'm less embarrassed about that than I am about someone seeing me navigate to chickensmoothie.com, the adoptable pet website. The level of shame inherent in what I do in my day-to-day is less for erotica than it is for my genuine, earnest interests.
Sorry, take a bite of sandwich while you're talking. Give me a second. And the other thing is that, like, and the reason why I personally relate to the reason why I brought up your sticker is to contextualize my position. Which is, like, one, I'm not actually ruining anyone else's day. Like, other people don't have to, other people's lives don't have to be so pure that they don't briefly see, like, the implication of a cunt. It's fine.
Yeah.
And also, I'm just, like, not a person,
Mm-hmm.
I'm like extremely gay in ways that I can't even hide, really, because of, like, hormonal manipulation.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm disabled.
Mm-hmm.
And, I'm just, like, not a person.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, I don't really care what people think of me.
Mm-hmm.
It's just so inconsequential to me. Like,
Yeah.
I just cannot be embarrassed by glipping Drammer. Somehow that's worse. Somehow that is worse. The word glipping is a lot for me.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of
just,
slurs
like,
that we can say on the air.
Wait, what?
It's not. It just sounds... any word that sounds fake to me is like...
Oh, do you want to make up a new slur?
Yeah,
what does
glipping.
glipping mean?
Moving on.
I feel like this is a really, really... This is a slur way to talk about women having sex with each other.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I've decided glipping means.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna immediately reclaim it. Going through the pipeline really fast. Also, I'm gonna come out with a controversial opinion right off the top. I talked about this for 3 months, and I talked about it so much that I've come around and I'm like, I actually think this is a good piece of art.
It is.
This is my controversial opinion. Should we go through it?
Yeah.
I'm gonna start with, okay, so at one point, me and May were talking about Glipping Drammer Kaguyahime a lot. And then May's girlfriend caught wind of this and was like, what is this? And so I sent her a series of images that were every single part of this image except for the body of Kaguyahime.
Oh my god.
I just sent her like an image of sandals, an image of so I'm just gonna go through that
Okay.
I'm just gonna ignore her for a while.
Yeah.
It's a natural hot spring. It's got some nice rocks. It's got kind of like is this like a bonsai tree? I don't know, trees. Let alone East Asian trees. But it's got
trees
a tree.
are small.
Yeah, but bonsai trees are like small versions of real trees.
Yeah.
They've been
bonsai
made
is not
small.
Bonsai is not a breed of tree.
That's anyway. There's this sort of this little tree beside it. There's a little sort of, I don't know what this is, but it has a name, but it's a box that hot water is running out of. She's a pot of tea and 2 teacups. She has her little bunny wooden sandals that have little bunnies with X eyes on them.
Cute.
Very cute. She has a wooden tub of water that has a green dragon sort of hand towel. There's a container, a mysterious black container that I've only just noticed, and I don't know what's in there.
My first
and
instinct
then sort of
was
like
to say a thermos, which feels weird,
yeah.
but it would, I don't know. I like to imagine that Kaguyahime
I
could
guess
have a little
she's
soup.
she's a tea girl.
Okay.
She brings a thermos of tea up to the top of the mountain. This makes sense to me.
She also has a pot of tea. She can have 2 teas.
Well,
Girls can have 2 teas.
girls can have 2 teas. She has TTs. That was a bad joke. She's also got a wooden hammer that I assume is used for a thing in hot springs that I don't understand.
That or for hitting you.
Oh, probably for hitting you. And then sitting in this hot spring is Kaguyahime. She's got a rabbit ear. She's got a cute little, almost like 1950s kind of like headscarf on.
Yeah, it is cute.
Which I think is cute. And then she's wearing no clothes. She has a slightly see-through towel. It's over one of her boobs and not over the other one, but a strip of black hair is tactfully covering her right nipple. And then the towel does not go down really past her waist, but that's okay because she's kicking water at you. She looks very annoyed at you. She's kicking water at you, and the splash of water. Again, I spent approximately 3 months just talking about this splash of water, which is sort of tactfully covering up between her legs. Image. How are we feeling about this image?
She's also holding, it's important to note, she's also holding a bottle of lotion, which she's squirting out.
Yes, this is true.
This is
just kind of like into the air.
Weirdly,
a bottle of white lotion.
Weirdly, this is the least tactful part of the image.
Yes,
despite
absolutely.
being the part of the image connected to her body which shows the least skin.
See, it's so funny to me the way that, like, erotics work, that I'm like...
This lotion is obscene.
I'm taking this lotion is obscene. Also, this image, despite everything, feels less obscene than the Christmas one.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's just, like... I don't know. And again, it, like... This has a different framing from the other ones in which you're definitely looking down at her.
I think here's the thing for me.
Sure.
Is you could say this very carefully. You could frame the part of this image where she is annoyed with you looking at her as a part of this image which is erotic. To me, it isn't, but it is good character. And it does make this image more charming, which is good. It it's a good image because she's annoyed with you, not because her being annoyed with you makes it sexy, but because
Right.
her being annoyed with you makes it like, oh, this is Kaguyahime. Like, this isn't a doll of Kaguyahime flashing her ass at you like the Christmas one is.
This is the thing.
This is a person.
Yeah, the thing is that she doesn't, again, she's like, it's the same, where she's in, it's the same as the last one, but just like more, where she's like, in, like, she's in like what one could interpret as a vulnerable position, while like displaying absolutely no vulnerability.
Yes.
She's not kicking water at you because she's scared of you, or she wants you to go, or well, she does want you to go away.
Yeah.
But because you're like, she's kicking water at you because she's like annoyed. She's like, I'm busy. Go away.
Yeah.
And she's like, she doesn't care about you. She doesn't even like. She's like, she is not kicking water so that this splash perfectly lines up so as to cover her cunt. I said it before. I'll just say it again.
Yeah, you can.
That's just like,
giving you permission.
Thank you. Cunt permissions unlocked. That's just like what the image needs, because it's technically in a family-friendly ... question mark Mahjong game. But she doesn't actually care.
That's good.
She does not care about you.
This is good.
She's
this
just
is part of what
annoyed
makes
that
this
you're
image
here.
good art.
Yeah.
To add to this, the quote that goes along with this image, and I like the one that goes along with the Chinese New Year image as well, but we didn't get to it. But it's something similar to this, so you can imagine it. Is, "Oh, rude human, how dare you trespass my private hot spring? Of course, this place is private. All the hot springs in the vicinity have been taken over by me. But considering that you've been devout to me day in and day out, I could let you share this place. But you're only allowed to use the smallest pool, you hear?" Like, I enjoy the framing that's like, how dare you? This is my spot, and I'm not here to, like, this is my place of power. This is my seat of power.
Yeah. Truly.
You are nothing.
We've, like, found her throne. Yeah, and it's like, it's also like, it's not an invitation to join her in the hot spring.
This hot spring, again, she's taken up all the space.
Yeah, like, she says you can use the smallest pool, which implicitly is not the pool that she's using. You can go somewhere else on the mountain and go take a bath there if you really, really need to.
And she has this whole place, which means that there are many, many pools between you and her.
Almost certainly. And it's just like,
in this empty hot spring. This is just a fantastic image.
Yeah, this is just like good, like, characterful erotic art. Again, as someone who, like, used to interact with a lot of erotic art and makes some, it's just like, to me, it's so boring to look. This is the thing. maybe this, it's so boring to me to look at a titty. I don't care. That's uninteresting to me. And I'm like, is this what straight men are about? Do they just want to look at a titty? And the thing that, like, makes things work, like, I don't, as, like, art and erotic art, is, like, having character, and this has character, and thus it's good. I'm saying it here, I'm making the claim. Soulmates podcast says, dripping glamour, Kaguyahime, that's art.
It's good. I would like to just say, and this is going to be my foreshadowing post for the rest of this podcast. Despite the fact that this is, like you said, potentially the most explicit image in the video game, you can get way more gratuitous than this.
Yes.
This is what I would consider not gratuitous. Despite the fact that she is literally almost naked. Not gratuitous.
Yeah. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
We'll get there. It's... Well, now I can't keep talking about it without getting there at least a little bit.
Yeah.
Which is that, like, you know, this is allowed to be gratuitous. This is allowed to be
nude.
Very explicit without being nude. Yeah. Without being gratuitous and, like, really, like, making me laugh instead of making me wince. Because this is, like, adult art of an adult. Which is very important. I said to you that, like, we had a lot to pull back the curtain a little bit. We had a long conversation about how we were going to talk about sex on this podcast.
Yep.
And we're figuring it out as we go along. And I think this is a great example of something I said, which is, like, episodes in which we are talking about adults and episodes in which we are talking about teenagers will probably be very different episodes. You know,
like, if this were an episode about a teenager, we would not have spent so much time talking about how Kaguyahime is in a position of sexual power over you.
Yeah, or, you know, in a very, very, very different way.
Yeah.
But, like, and honestly, like, this is, to me, like, this is a great place to end before we make more episodes of this podcast. Because this is Kaguyahime is a great example of, like, what the if Mahjong must be horny, and not even if Mahjong must be horny, if we are graciously given the option to have horny Mahjong,
and we have been,
thank God,
by Yostar and Cat Food Studios.
By Yostar and Cat Food Studios. This is Kaguyahime is a mixed but still, like, ultimately good example of what the best of that can be. You know, she's got a clear character, but she's got, like, a mix of different aesthetics that you can have.
Yeah.
Not
all of her sex art is good art.
No.
But some of it is.
And, you know, this is, like, to me, I'm obsessed with Dripping Glamour Kaguyahime and can talk about it every day for 3 months. Because I'm like, it simultaneously shocks me that this is in, like, a publicly available video game in this way.
Yeah.
But also, I'm like, there are ways in which this kind of owns.
Yeah.
And that contrast is, like, a good and interesting thing in a lot of ways. Again, I think people should I agree with you. I think people should get over it. And so I think it's interesting to, like, push boundaries. Anyway, I think I'm sort of rambling, but I think my point was Kaguyahime is a relatively good example of, like, the heights that this game could aspire to in terms of, like, comfortably and playfully and, like, goodly interacting with, like, sexual appeal and sexuality.
Yep.
And then sometimes it just does a bad job.
Yeah. I think what's great about Kaguyahime, and I think what's great about all of the images that we've looked at of Kaguyahime, in all of their variants, is that it does have both examples of bad sex art and good sex art. And I think that's part of, like, what the thesis of what I would like to do with this podcast is, which is to say that, like, certainly, by definition, there's no need to be, like, Puritan about this whole thing. There is good erotica, not just in the sense that it is, like, it's a cute and appealing anime girl, but in the sense that it is good art.
Oh, yeah, really quickly, cute and appealing anime girl, check.
This one's a cute and appealing anime girl.
Are we saying yes and yes? Okay,
yes and
check,
yes.
check.
Okay.
Just making sure.
But it can be good art. And it can be, I feel like tasteful is the wrong word for this, because tasteful has a connotation. I wouldn't say that Dripping Glamour Kaguyahime is tasteful.
I'm gonna go to discord.com and I'm gonna misquote you and say Dripping Glamour Kaguyahime is tasteful, Ash. And I'm gonna put that on the starboard.
Awesome. But, like, it can be good art. I'll leave it at that. There's no need to be, Puritan about the concept of art which is designed to be sexually appealing. Because that's what a lot of the art in this video game is. And
I think that's what a lot of the art in the world is.
Yeah, and we're talking about it. And so if that's all we have to say about it, this is a very boring and bad podcast.
Yeah.
But there is also, in doing that, in analyzing, art which is designed for its sexual appeal, there's also bad sex art.
Yeah.
It can be bad, not because it is partially, the reason why it's bad is because it's, gratuitous or not tasteful or whatever, or it's, it's erotic in a way which is uncomfortable, or it's not, not proper or whatever. But, it can also just be bad art. You understand what I mean, right?
No, I understand.
It can be both things.
It can be both things.
And it deserves to get that kind of airtime, I think.
Yeah.
And that's what's great about the Dripping Glamour Kaguyahime. And also what's great, in a terrible way, about the holiday one. Christmas Kaguyahime. What's her name?
God, Christmas Kaguyahime is so much.
I don't even remember.
She's too much. Doesn't matter.
Not Festive Aroma. Holiday Cheer or whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
Santa Claus.
Do we even care about this emote?
Well,
it
teaches us what we think the hammer is. The hammer was not a hammer. It's a thing which you can ladle.
Oh, of course, right. Oh, I know what that is, and now I immediately understand.
Yeah.
This object.
This is good.
You like it?
Yeah. I don't love it.
Yeah, that's fair.
I don't need it.
Yeah.
I have a chainsaw.
Yeah. Okay.
The emote is she's got a little angry thing, and she's has a very angry expression, and she has that ladle of steaming hot water, and she seems to be about to throw it on you. She's got a fiery background. She's very annoyed with you, and she's about to hit you and hurt you with hot water. Yeah.
See, I just feel like this emote would be better if it was the sort of detached annoyed that she is in the main art. I honestly, I kind of just want a little chibi version of the main art, because I think that would be funny.
Okay. If I'm being generous to this emote, it's this art is Kaguyahime, going I'm annoyed with you, but you've been, you're a good
you're
servant.
You're a good boy.
And you can,
you're a good girl.
You can hang out.
We can,
over there. And this is when you cross her. If I'm being generous to it, it's I got no patience for you at this point. I'm not playing with you.
But I like it less in I think that is the framing, and also I like it so much less in that framing because I like living in a world in which crossing Kaguyahime is just implicitly impossible.
Yeah.
It's less interesting to me. I think this is part of why the chainsaw is good, and a lot of the other angry, violent ones aren't. Is because in the chainsaw one, she's just doing violence against you for fun. Mm-hmm. In this one, even the fact that you can that you might even be able to cross a line, and not that is just either sort of in a metatextual sense, fictionally impossible, or in a more grounded sense, her presence is so overpowering that one just cannot. I think as soon as you can cross a line, it's less
yeah.
interesting to me.
Any retribution,
it's less interesting.
The retribution of Kaguyahime throwing hot water on you is not enough for you crossing a line. She should kill you.
Yeah.
And even that doesn't make a good emote.
Yeah. Yeah.
She should kill you for fun. With a chainsaw.
She should kill you because she deserves it.
Yeah.
She should kill you because she deserves it. Damn. I guess that's Kaguyahime.
Yeah. I was gonna, you can cut this out, but we've been recording for 2 hours and 45 minutes. So.
What about it?
Got lots to say about Kaguyahime. You're gonna have to decide what of this is good podcast material and what of this is us rambling.
All of it?
You gonna release a 2 hour 45-minute podcast?
It's less than that because we were chatting at the beginning and we took some breaks.
We did.
Are
you gonna release probably. A 2 hour podcast? Listen.
In my previous podcast, my fiction podcast I care about. My previous podcast, I was like, this podcast has an audience, and I want to find that audience and be popular. For this podcast, I don't care.
So you can release a 2 hour episode.
Yeah, I don't care.
You don't care.
Also, I listen to 2 hour podcasts. Like, I don't care. Like, whatever.
Anyway.
Whatever. Who cares? Anyway.
That's Kaguyahime.
That's Kaguyahime. So we were going to choose our characters randomly, right?
Yeah.
And this first episode affords us a really nice opportunity, if I can quickly go live on Discord.
Just heard that. Okay.
Where in future episodes we can't necessarily do this because we might run into repeat characters and it'll get annoying. So we should probably make a spreadsheet and a way to randomize it really easily.
Yeah.
But for now we can just hit this random button.
Yes.
And I think hang on, let me navigate to her from the main thing to see if I'm pretty sure if you hit this random button it still can give you men. I've tested this. Unfortunately, at some point I will have to confront the existence of men.
You will. It's okay. I'll be there to guide you through it.
Thank you. I'll be there with you. But I'm just gonna hit this random button, and we're just gonna get a random guy. And also, how do you feel about not saying who it is? But
very
just
good.
Reacting
I would
to
just
it.
like to live react without mentioning it.
Yeah. Okay. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Pop. It's loading the page.
It's loading. Ooh.
Huh.
Okay. This will be interesting.
I've never thought about this character, so
I've never seen this character in my life. So.
Huh.
This is intensely interesting.
Yeah, that's what we're doing next time.
And so that's why you have to tune in.
Yeah, thanks for listening, everyone. Again, I'm Ivy Fox. You can find me at Ivy Fox Art on co-host.
I'm Asherlark, Asherlark. I'm better at spelling than Ivy is, and you can find me on...
Fuck you.
You can find me on Ko-Fi. I'm on Twitter also, but you shouldn't. You can find me on Ko-Fi.
And you can find the show at We'll Figure It Out. Probably Soulmates Podcast on co-host. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye.
嘆かなくてもよい。何時ら凡人がわらわに勝てぬのは当然なのじゃ。